In the long block that this man's going to build, we're going to find out today. We are at Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah.
We are at the SEMA show. We're with Dan Ledbetter, the editor, publisher, Grand Poobah, VW Trends.
Somebody.
We've already introduced Jack. He's the master of everything Volkswagen racing, air-cooled. He's the king. We are going to watch Jack build a EMPI 1600cc all-new long block. Is that correct?
That is correct. Now, I had a question. Is this the first time this has ever been happening at a show like this?
We believe this is the first time, and the Smithsonian Institute said we would like the engine when it's done, and we said no. We're actually going to we're going to award it to an EMPI dealer.
Oh, very nice. Super exciting.
So why don't we get the hell out of the way? Why don't we let Jack do the work? Jack, anything you'd like to add?
Let's rumble.
Let's do it.
Let's do it!
All right, here we go. Thanks, guys, for coming out. So, no pressure at all. So
Dan, Jack has been the master of all the EMPI long blocks, all the aluminum dual port long blocks
I'm always hungry.
for over
Can you
2
tell
years
that I've been
now.
on a diet?
Has produced many hundreds
Yeah,
of long
trying to
blocks
mess
for
me up.
EMPI,
Exactly.
which every one of them has
Well,
a
obviously,
12-month
there's-
unlimited mileage warranty.
Oh, wow. That sounds
I
like
know.
an industry first.
I know, it kind of is.
Wow.
And I'm so glad you could join us today.
Thank you. Well, we're super excited to be here. I mean, I've known Jack for ages, it
Mhm.
feels like, and I've been aware of his engine building prowess for a long, long time. So it's going to be fun for me to sit here and watch it live.
Yes.
All over the world. People
Yes.
will be watching all over the world, and it'll be fun to see all the little nuances and stuff that he does
Yes.
in what it takes to build like an EMPI long block. I think it's exciting.
Most definitely. So for those who are following along, you can tell your friends, go to EMPI_Inc. on YouTube, go to EMPI_Inc. on Facebook. You can live stream this. Tell the boss this is important research.
Yep. Now, also, too, if you happen to be at the SEMA show in Las Vegas, you can stop by the EMPI booth. We're over at booth 23427 in the center hall.
We are.
So if you're at the show, come on by and check it out and watch Jack build an engine live.
Okay.
All right.
So first off, I'd like to introduce one of our key sponsors. This is Alessandro from Autolinea. Alessandro, thanks for being here all the way from Brazil.
Yep.
So to everyone who loves a Fusca,
Yes.
we want to thank Autolinea because they're very critical in this build process since we are building on your aluminum case.
Yes. That's our product, right?
Yes, it is. And it's beautiful and we love it. Somebody's touching me. There we go. Hi. So, Alessandro, I want to say thank you again for being willing to sponsor this, as well as being a key sponsor to our EMPI engine battle presented by J-Bugs earlier this summer. Was a huge hit. We could not be doing this without Autolinea.
No, thanks, Rob, for all. Actually, we are really happy and proud to be here at the big part of the show. So support you and business, EMPI business, to be a very success team and engines.
Perfect.
So
Thank you, Alessandro.
you're welcome, always.
Have an awesome day.
You too.
Feel free to stick around and watch Jack do his magic.
We'll be here.
He's already doing it right over here.
Yes.
Watch step.
Now, Rob, I have a quick question for you. So
Yes.
what can we expect today? Like what are going to be some of the highlights that you are personally looking forward to seeing Jack do?
I'm really interested in finding out what Jack's going to have for lunch. I'm going to put some money down on the pizza.
I would go with that's a safe bet. That's a safe bet. I think that'll be good.
I think the keys I'm looking for are what are the critical moments during
Yes.
the build where you have to make sure you are dead on, whether it's torque specs, whether it's clearances, whether it's, bearing measurements. I know there are critical pieces. I'm not a builder.
No, neither am I.
I don't think anybody's confused me with a builder, but I know that Jack is. So I'm looking for him to share some information, some thoughts and feedback on what are the real critical points.
Right. Now we're doing a 1600 today, correct?
This is a very straight up stock 1600cc aluminum, all new, all EMPI long block.
Now, I think one of the more interesting things is because the VW engine is actually very simple,
Mhm.
but yet there are some things that require a lot of finesse to really make it happen and make it stable and make it secure and have longevity.
Yes. I think like almost any internal combustion engine, that that balance of how much power, how hard am I going to stress this engine
Right.
versus how long do I want it to run?
Yep.
So-
Exactly.
As we saw in the EMPI engine battle earlier this summer, some of our builders are right on the ragged edge of
Yes.
what a flat 4 Volkswagen engine can do. On the other hand, this 1600cc is going to be a cruiser engine. One of my favorite themes is let's get Volkswagens back on the road. So this is the kind of engine that would do just that.
Yeah, and I think it's perfect too because there are so many cars that are sitting out behind people's houses and
Yes.
in people's garage with a tarp over them because they just didn't know, oh, I don't have time to build a motor.
Right.
When actually they can call you up or call EMPI up and
Yes.
have one delivered right to their door.
You're right, Dan. It's a very common issue. We'll meet people that inherit a Volkswagen. Their families had a Volkswagen.
Right.
It's been off the road for decades. They don't know where to go and they don't know what to do. So I typically would refer them to the EMPI website
Yep.
and ask them to hit the dealer locator and find an EMPI dealer near them. Because like Jack, many EMPI dealers have been building air-cooled Volkswagen engines for decades. And if they understand the parameters, they can help that particular person get back on the road faster and more efficiently.
Yeah. Now tell me a little bit more about the warranty because that is really amazing. I know you started out as what was it was it 12-month warranty or what was
It's always been a 12-month. We started with a 12,000-mile warranty. We said, you know what? Some people drive their cars a lot. Some people don't.
Right.
So let's not worry about the mileage. Let's worry about the time.
Yeah.
And that 12-month warranty has been, I think, one of the differentiators of the EMPI long block program.
Well, and two, it gives people a sense of peace of mind,
Mhm.
right? When you have something that you know is going to be backed
Mhm.
by the company you bought it from. I think it's a brilliant move.
Perfect. Dan, let me pause one moment. I know we've got another question from the lead builder at Nevada Off-Road Buggy.
Oh,
So, Rich, why don't you come on over? Watch your step here. Hey, Jack, we've got a question for you. We're going to turn this way. Camera's over here. So, Rich had a question from Nevada Off-Road Buggy, so I'm going to put the mic in his face, and he's going to ask.
All right, how you doing?
With this desert heat and all that, what would be your desired compression ratio with low octane fuels and all that?
You know what? I've had good success with the 8-to-1 range. You could go down to 7, 7.5. Back in the day, there were guys that even ran lower than that. But for the performance and the pump gases that are available today, the 87, 88, 90 octane, 8.5 is really safe. They do have these performance guys out here, the real street cars
Yeah, I got it.
that are making over 250 horsepower on pump gas, and it's all legal. I mean, they pump it themselves. They all from the same station, and they're running about 10.5 to 11
Wow,
by good sources. But then there's timing curves and stuff like that would eliminate it from detonating. So there's tricks to it, but just for the basic guy who wants to go dooning or just street performance, 8.5 is such a safe compression ratio.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good meeting.
Nice meeting you.
Thanks for the question.
Thanks, bud.
Have a great day.
thank you. You guys are going to ask.
Sure. So, Jack, it looks like you've got the rotating assembly. You're about more than halfway there.
Yeah, we're going to torque the rods together.
Okay.
We're going to drop the crank.
Okay. Excellent. That's exciting.
Wow, this is actually going really fast.
Well, I perceive that this is one of the critical stages of assembly. So
Yes.
once this gets home and half of the case, then it'll start looking like an engine.
Well, this is really the heart of the engine right here.
It
so
is.
all the specs have to be
Yep.
Dead on.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you start that thing up and a rod could go flying
Sure.
out. But
I
that's
don't
not
want
going to
that.
happen here.
No.
No.
And Jack, what's our torque spec?
These rods are
32. Okay. If you're following at home, the secret number is 32.
There will be a quiz later.
But if you're playing blackjack and you got 32,
No, you're way off.
I wouldn't double down on
No,
that.
I would not.
I
do
would
that.
go ahead and see if you can get another free drink.
Maybe if you put it on a roulette wheel on 32.
There you
you'd
go.
be fine.
That could be a good call. Jack, what's your favorite color, red or black?
blue.
Blue. He likes blue.
Well, they don't have
Empty
that on a
blue.
roulette table, so. what
Empty
are you
blue,
gonna
I'll
do?
bet. Awesome.
There you go.
That makes it simple. And Nolan is operating our live stream, so thank you, Nolan, for being here. Any questions coming from YouTube as of yet? This is an interactive live stream, so if you do have a question, we can relay it to Jack. Obviously, let's try to stay on topic.
Yes. Let's not ask about Jack's favorite sandwich.
How many feet are in a mile? That's not what we're
we
looking
don't
for.
do that.
No,
We don't
no.
do that. We're talking hardcore.
This is about Volkswagen.
Mechanical stuff.
Exactly. Volkswagen long blocks, Volkswagen engines. That's what we're looking for.
Now, Rob, tell me, I see the camshaft over there. Is that
Yes.
one of EMPI's new camshafts that you're putting in this?
I am not sure, to be honest.
all right.
I certainly would hope so.
I would
The
think
new
so.
camshaft program has been very popular. We've got 7 new profiles in the catalog. I like watching people torque things, so
I know.
I'm kind of enjoying that.
You know, I think it would be kind of neat for the people at home because everyone sees the finished product, but nobody gets to see how you build it.
Exactly. So we've got our first comment. It's love seeing Big Jack in action, the maestro. And I believe we all agree. Maybe we can get a quick round of whoop whoop from the audience here. No, they're busy. They're all busy. So thank you, Friel. We appreciate your comment. And we love Jack doing work too. He's a long block machine. And when we think about how many Volkswagens that Jack and EMPI have helped get back on the road,
Oh, good.
that's one of the great parts of the job. I love the stories of Volkswagens getting back on the road.
Yes.
So if you're here in the booth, whether it's a buggy or whether it's a streetcar, whether it's a bus, whether it's a Gia, it doesn't really matter what it is.
No.
It's not doing anyone any good if your Volkswagen is sitting in your garage
None.
and it's become a stacking cube
Something
for
to put
things.
mattresses on or something
Exactly.
like that.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah. And I think it's great too, because everyone loves VWs. Everyone has a VW story.
They do.
And a great place to hear those stories is in VW Trends magazine. by
Oh,
the way.
wow. I see what you did there.
I did. That was a nice segue,
That was slick.
wasn't it?
That was very slick.
I made a hard left
Yep.
into that. So if you don't subscribe to VW Trends, you can go to www.vwtrendsmagazine.com and subscribe today.
And you should do that immediately.
I think so.
Tell your boss you're doing an important training on your computer right now
That's
and
right.
that you really can't break away and that he or she should bring you lunch
Yes.
so you can catch
absolutely.
all of this stream.
Yeah, and remember, for those of you who are watching at home or at work, hopefully you have the shades up on your computer. Please send your questions in. I'm sure Jack would love to answer them, as long as we stay on topic and talk about the actual build. But yeah, send them in. We'd love to hear what you've got to say and what
So,
you're looking for.
I've got Tanner from Seward Speed Shop. Tanner, why don't you come on in?
Come on in.
Kind of stand right over here. So Jack's got his crank and his rods laid out. Any questions you'd like to ask him?
I'd be curious on rod clearance.
For what application?
Turbo.
Turbo drag race?
Yes.
Okay. Side play or
Oil clearance.
okay, OD. Pin clearance.
Yep.
Well, it's a tricky question depending on what oil you're using.
Okay.
Because when you go into the thinner oils, you want to tighten them up a little bit more, and the thicker oils, depending if they're going to be racing it or if they're just street car.
Okay.
I definitely have a lot of success, about 1.5 thou clearance with
Okay.
the oils that I run
Okay.
for the race application.
Yep.
That's obviously everything's checked here and it's been done. And it's gonna have at least 1.5 thou or 2 at the most.
Okay.
So
Yep.
But I know guys that run a little looser now with a real heavy oil.
Heavier oil.
Yeah,
Yep.
heavy
Sure.
oil. So
Sure. Yep.
just depends on what grade they're running.
And now with the pin clearance, does that change what you do side clearance?
Side clearance, the tighter you can run and not burn it up, the better.
Matter keep it all in
Because
line.
it'll accelerate faster. Nothing's moving around. It's like a sewing machine. Everything's just precision.
Yep.
So for me on the street car, as a matter of fact, it's something I just checked right now, making sure it has a minimum of 12,000 side clearance, and just
Okay.
for the street car guy,
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
this is the one that's going to last 100,000 miles.
Yep.
But race applications, you're going to get a different answer from me.
Sure, absolutely.
And then I know you guys are pretty familiar with that, I think.
Yep.
So, but yeah, pretty much just different applications require different clearances.
Awesome. Cool.
So you all just watched a technical joust between Jack Sacchette and Tanner from Seward Speed Shop, Rockford, Illinois. One half of the duo that won the EMPI engine battle presented by J-Bugs.
Yes.
So I like watching people kind of fence and have a technical. So that was fun. So thank you very much.
You just don't want to fall into trick questions.
No.
So it does really, the oils do affect it. So we're going to run.
Yep,
So.
absolutely. Yep. And then more for the people, the live stream. There's people that don't understand that it definitely depends on the application of what you're going to do and how you're going to set it up. It's not a one size fits all.
No, exactly. I think this exercise engine battle proves you can do many, many things with a flat 4 Volkswagen engine. It's only a question of how much time, how much effort, how many dollars, and what are you actually going to do with the engine?
Exactly.
And if you're going to build a street engine to get a Volkswagen back on the road, then Jack's got that handle. If we're going to build some crazy turbo engine, we're going to call Seward Speed Shop. We're going to say, how many pizzas do we need? And you guys, this is the guy, this is half of the duo that drove from Rockford, Illinois to Medford, Oregon, 2,074 miles in their bug called Bernie. With, I'll just say it, an all EMPI engine. And made the trek. And raced. And made the trek back. So I don't know if you can see the subtitle on the video that says "Crazy Man," but it's over Tanner's head. So Tanner, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out. It's great to see you guys here. And let's not forget that you
Congratulations on
drove
your
a
win.
bus.
All right.
All
And
the
you
way
drove a bus.
here.
I drove my bus from
Oh my God.
Chicago.
Like how many mountains did you cross over? Mountain ranges?
I went 10 passes I went through.
Okay,
Good
that's
God.
insane.
1,600.
I got to go rest. You're exhausting me.
I'm tired just hearing
My
about it.
God.
I don't know.
Thank you, Tanner.
No problem.
All right. So it looks like Jack is prepping the case to receive the rotating assembly.
Oh, this is very exciting.
We're making some progress here. It's going to start looking like a case. Dan's getting a recipe from the local sheriff.
I am,
Thank you for what you're doing here,
I had
keeping us safe.
to pay a couple bucks under the table so I didn't end up at.
All right. Oh, wait, whoa. Look at this.
Whoa, here we go.
Look at this.
Here we go.
All right. Well, that just looks like it's supposed to be there.
Yeah, it does.
I like that.
I like it falls in place.
How's that, Jack?
I like it when it falls into place.
There you go. All right. Give it a little adjustment. Give it a little
Jack, twist. For the people following along at home, what is a common mistake that first-time engine builders make?
The ones I used to make.
The ones you used to make, not anymore, of course.
Yeah. Well, definitely lining up these dowel pin holes is the famous one that everybody ends up pinching them.
Oh,
And, then they got to go take it apart and buy another set of bearings. And
right.
so, but
Got a
better
couple more questions coming in from
I
YouTube.
know I'm
Give me
going
a
to have it
moment.
right, but I'm going to show you how to check that
Oh,
to
so I'm going to learn something
to
today. Is
alert-
what you're
to
saying.
alert-
Well, Rich,
that
thank
from
you,
happening.
Okay.
the hairstylist for
all right. So you just got to
for
make sure
Dan
that
is
the pins are
I believe
in.
it's turtle wax. So
Right.
Okay.
Make sure everything's seated.
Michael
properly.
Pazzi, I'm not sure what your question means. Thank you though.
Okay.
Mark Walter, thanks for being out there.
The other half of the case bearing.
Right.
We appreciate what Strictly Foreign does and how you serve the marketplace in the Northwest. Thank you very much.
Here. And drop it on there.
No, Michael, you don't pay a high price
It's rocking.
for your engine. You pay a reasonable price for an engine
It should be
with a
stationary.
12-month warranty
That, you
built
check
by a
the-
professional.
something's not-
That's what you get.
Right.
So, gotta go through it again.
So it sounds like there's
Michael,
a lot of
You might want to get back to work.
not trial and error, but there's a lot of fitting, refitting, and adjusting.
Yes, it's everything has to be checked, rechecked, and double checked.
Right.
And it's just a matter of going through it. See, like right now, it was the nose bearing that was off.
Oh,
Put it on there now, and no rock.
there it is.
So it's in place. Dowel pins are lined up.
Very.
Everything's good to go. So,
So it's the
but I always
here is don't try this at home unless you've done it before.
I encourage everybody to try this at home.
Really?
It is fun.
Even
Anybody can do this. Just
Well,
take a little practice. It's fun. So and line up the cam gears now.
Okay.
So right here is a dowel pin hole. All right.
Wow.
So now it's time to do the lifters.
All right.
Just a quick update. We've got, looks like some lifters getting ready to go in.
Yep. Lifters are going in. This thing's going really fast. I really thought we would be like about a third of the way, but we're like almost halfway done.
Well, I think that's the benefit of working with the craftsman who has obviously double checked all the clearances before he got here, like a good cooking show.
Right.
All the items are prepped and ready. So we're going to have a nice hot meal here pretty shortly.
So what I'm hearing you say is that Jack is sort of the Emeril Lagasse of Volkswagen Motors,
I think that's a nice way to put it. Yes.
or Gordon Ramsay with less profanity.
Yeah, exactly. Less cursing. So as I mentioned earlier, EMPI has been running a competition with our dealers. Our dealers have earned an opportunity to be in a drawing,
Oh,
and we will be drawing a winner to get a hold of this long block.
to take this exact block.
Take this exact block. Yes.
Now, is this going to be a signature block? Like, is Jack going to sign it, like with a pin on
I
top
think
of
that'd
the
be cool.
Pistons?
I think you should.
I think so.
We'll find a way to personalize it. But yeah, one EMPI dealer has earned the right to be in a competition to win this particular long block, this 1600s. So we hope that that dealer will find a worthy customer, help them build out that engine, dress it out,
Car back on the road.
get a car back on the road. Exactly.
That's awesome. So, Jack, how did you first get into Volkswagens? Like, what was the tipping point for you? Did it happen
Well,
by accident, or was this sort of a planned thing?
At 15, I got the opportunity to borrow some money, and I had enough money to buy a car. I had $1,500, and my choice was Corvair or Volkswagen. It was the only thing in my budget. And man, in the early '80s, the Orange County bug-ins, it was just popping. It was just going off, and I was really into it. And luckily for me, my motorcycle shop teacher pushed me more towards the Volkswagen.
Really?
Yeah, and we got it, and he helped me hop that thing up, and rest is history.
Wow.
And my first go around and build an engine was actually being taught by a woman. You may have heard of her. Her name is Susan from the old company called SIR.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so they had a little substation in Anaheim by my house, and I'd go in there every Friday. I got paid, and I'd run to the bank, cash my check, go over there, and I'd spend anywhere between every week, $100 to $300, and I'd
Right.
buy stuff. And finally, one day she says, "Hey, you want help putting this engine together? You can do it here." And she showed me how to build my first engine.
So that was the very first time.
Yeah,
you
very first
actually
engine.
got your
Yep.
hands dirty into building. a
Yep.
motor.
Yep, I was buying things, and I was confident of doing it, but I just never done it.
Wow.
And she knew that I needed help.
Now, were you nervous? Well, I can imagine there would be a little
I was-
fear and trepidation.
I was really excited. I was excited. All these parts slept with me in my bedroom. Everything was underneath my bed in my
Really?
closet. Oh yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it was like hitting the lottery when I had my first IDAs. It was. I mean, I cherished them.
Right.
And so, no, I mean, I got
Do you
my
still
start.
have them?
No,
No. All right.
no.
I
I
just wanted to check.
they're about 3,000 sets later.
Yeah, right. There you
Lost.
go.
So,
Very good.
but yeah, I
You
got my
always
start.
remember your first.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome.
So-
Good for you.
Yep.
It would have been a whole different situation if you'd become a Corvair specialist.
I know. I would have finally got the Volkswagens.
Would you have?
Oh, yeah.
I think so. Because it's like a distant cousin.
Yes.
It's all there.
Yep.
So tell me what we're doing here.
Lubing the cam. This is assembly lube.
Okay.
And it just gives the camshaft and the lifters a chance to break in, so it doesn't look like the 4th of July when you first start it.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah.
bad.
So, yeah, you just give everything a good dousing with this. I like using this MPZ Torco engine lubricant
Okay.
assembly, and it's just my personal preference.
Do you find some engine builders tend to skimp on that a little bit? Like, I would think that more would be better in the case of making sure everything's done. You turn it right.
Yeah, it's some people do things different. You know, there's 1,000 ways to build these, right? And there's only one right way.
Right.
Is if as long as it lives and runs and doesn't hurt itself. They you know, people have different ideas of what lubricants they want and why. And I've built a lot of engines.
Right.
So simplicity, what's going to blend in with the oil. It's not going to taint the oil and stick in there for a while.
You don't want to contaminate it.
No, yeah, you know, and this blends in really nice with it. It sticks to the metal, but it dissipates pretty good and blends in really nice. So
now, speaking of oil, what is your preferred oil when you, like, let's say whoever gets this long block, right?
Yeah.
They're going to get it. They're going to put carbs on it, do the whole thing. What is your preferred oil for braking? Like, what's the weight that people should use?
So, well, again, that's a kind of loaded question. It's, you know, when you're in really cold temperature areas, it's a different way to you want to run. In hot, you know, we're a California guy, so
right.
The only thing that keeps these things alive is oil and air. That's it. So it's got to have good oil and it's got to have good air. So your cooling tin's really important, all that stuff. But the oil that I like, that I've had good luck with, is just a 2050, just a quality brand name oil, and put it in there. And, you know, when I've done things and I've taken them apart, it's like, why is this burned up? Well, what changes did I do? What I make? And then you always revert back to what we had success with. And just a basic 2050, you know, Valvoline, a mobile, you know, just a good quality brand name oil.
Right.
And they just seem to like it, you know, so, and it keeps it, you know, the thicker the oil, because obviously when it gets warmed up, it thins out.
Yes.
And, you know, some people start seeing their oil pressures go down a little bit when the engines are hot. And the 2050 just seems to hold its viscosity and keeps it alive. You know, it's your gold, you know, air and oil.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
there, I'll step back and let you get in there and do your magic.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
No. We're getting
out of the way.
We're getting close.
I thought we were going to put the case down together.
Yeah, that's favorable right there. So I'll answer a couple of questions we're getting online. So this is a bone stock 1600. Stock as stock can be. So this is a stock cam. This is a stock 1600. This is going to put down, Jack, about 65 horsepower.
That's depending on their exhaust and their carb.
Sure. Okay.
So 60 horsepower.
Okay. 60 horsepower according to Jack. As it relates to what you can do with this engine,
right?
It could go in a dune buggy. Okay. It could go in a bug. It could go in a bus, although you probably would like a 1914, a little more torque.
Something with a little more power.
To move that little heavier thing. Bottom line is, people build all sorts of crazy things with Volkswagen engines.
They do. It could go in a trike. You could build a trike, one of those VW powered trikes. Who knows? It could go anywhere.
You could meet a lot of chicks if you had a trike.
That's true. I'm at that age where I might need a trike, to be honest with you.
Very nice. So we want to shout out Sam Mebane at jbugs.com. Was a valiant competitor in the EMPI engine battle. Overcame a number of challenges. Still finished off well.
He did.
And from what I recall, had a very good time with all of our competitors.
Yes. And he also said he uses assembly lube like Frank's Red Hot sauce. He puts a lot of it on everything.
I don't know if that's an approved lubricant.
I don't think so either,
okay.
But it's good on chicken wings.
That's true. That's true. All right. So I want to welcome Luke and Matt from Wasp Performance. They're one of our sponsors. So if you guys can come on in here, cameras over here. So real quick, I want to introduce Wasp Performance as one of our sponsors, but more importantly, starters, anything rotating electric, these are the guys. EMPI offers the complete line of Wasp as it relates to air-cooled Volkswagen. We're pushing into air-cooled Porsche.
Yep.
So first off, thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being sponsors.
Glad to be a part.
You also sponsored EMPI Engine Battle, so double appreciation. I will ask real quick if you have any questions for Jack as it relates to any sort of rotating electric, even though we're not putting rotating electric on this. Is there something that our users should know? Is there something that our audience should know as it relates to Wasp Performance?
when you're building the engine, I mean, how do you set the compression? Like, for us, there's usually a divide between Volkswagen and Porsche, but we're seeing the Volkswagen guys really increase the amount of compression they have in the engines. And we've been messing with some of the RPM issues so that we could increase the RPM to offset some of the compression. Where do you see the compression usually setting with the builds?
Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously, you're talking about a pump gas situation. My starting point would be about anywhere between 8 and 9 to 1. 8.5 is a good number to shoot for. But, in the compression to set it, you're going to find out what the CCs are on the chamber. You got to find out where your deck height is, do your math, and then figure out, okay, I need more CCs in here. What am I going to do? Am I going to put a barrel shim under it? Am I going to take some off the piston? Am I going to open up the chambers a little more? And it really depends on the parts you have. If you got a really shrouded chamber, well, I would open up the chambers more so it'll flow more, and there's a lot of good, especially the new distributor they came out with. I don't remember the part number, but that one, it has a good curve and a good advance.
Yeah.
And so I know guys that run a little bit more compression with that because it advances not too quick, but it lets them get through the detonation point, on the low load.
Jack is referring to the 00944420 HEI ignition kit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boom.
The fact that
Shakalaka.
you knew those numbers off the top of your head is impressive.
That
There's
was not scripted.
There's not much up here, but I got that one burned in.
Yeah.
So all right.
Yeah, so it's 8.5 is where I like to be on the pump gas stuff. For a street guy, cruiser, A to B, grocery getters.
That's why we love doing business lamping.
Yeah.
You guys are specialists in your industry. And we like to provide whatever
Yeah,
customer needs.
they helped us out with one of your starters on our race car that we'll be racing this weekend. So
Excellent.
Look at that.
But thanks.
Glad to be a part of the team.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Take care. Very much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Luke. Pleasure having you guys. Oh, and Sam Mebane also quoted 009442-0,
Did he really?
which was the required ignition kit for the EMPI engine battle.
So see, he would be very familiar with that.
He would, most definitely. Most definitely.
By the way, I have to tell you, the EMPI engine battle was one of the coolest things I think I ever got to witness and be a part of. It was so much fun to go down there and be in the room where all these engines were shipped across the country.
Yes.
And to be in that room and listen to those things just rev up, I mean, terrifying at moments and absolutely exhilarating. It was so much fun to see, wow, here's the contest where they have to build something, run it, and just see what happens. It's a roll of the dice. And it was so much fun. Now, is it going to happen next year?
We're working on it. We'll make an announcement before the end of the year.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
Super exciting.
We got a little bit of time. We're figuring out calendars, but ultimately, EMPI Engine Battle was all about proving what EMPI parts can do.
Right.
And I firmly believe that the mission was accomplished. For everybody out on the internet smack talking EMPI parts,
Right.
the reality is that whether you're Chip Foose or you're Blake Wilkie or your Seward Speed Shop or your John Benton or your J-Bugs,
Right.
you are using EMPI parts every day to build engines and to get cars on the road. We've been at this for nearly 70 years.
Wow.
2026 will be 70 years. So we are continually improving, we are continually innovating, and we are continually challenging
Yes.
what enthusiasts want from EMPI parts.
Well, and I think that's what's key, Rob. I think that, some people or some businesses would be complacent just to sit and go, okay, we've done what we do. And then that's it.
Mhm.
It's like there's no thought to the future, or how can we push what we've got to the limit? How can we re-innovate and remake things better? And I think it was great to see the different engine sizes. That to me was amazing. Like, and to be completely honest, I kind of was a little judgy McJudgerton when I saw a 1641 come in
Sure.
and going, oh, that's not going to do anything. And then just to be blown away by the performance that engines like that put out. It was fantastic.
Dan, this just in, I believe the other case half is going to be mated to our rotating assembly that's residing in the other half of the case. Jack, what are you thinking? Yeah.
Oh, here we
All right,
go.
he says we're ready to go together. So this will be a big piece of the puzzle, that second half of the case coming together.
Yes.
So for everybody at home, we started roughly 10:45. and to watch a master work with all of his parts in place. So I'm going to be quiet now, moment of silence.
All right, here we go. This is kind of like the lunar landing from
It is.
1969.
It is a lot like
You
that.
were around for that.
Yes.
Here it goes.
Oh, look at that.
And there it is.
What a nice clunk that had. That was very nice. Thank you, Jack.
Very satisfying
Yes.
sound.
All right. So what we have
Wow, look at
is something that looks like an EMPI long block.
it does.
We've got our case halves together.
But this is really only halfway there. This is really the
Yep.
nucleus.
Yes.
We have to add the other stuff to really
Yep.
make it a lot.
This is the core. Yes. This is the core. So Jack's got his RTV on there. I know one of his guiding lights is, hey, let's not put together a leaky long block. Nobody
Yeah, you
wants
don't want
that.
That's
So-
not fun for anybody.
He's judicious with the RTV to keep the juices inside, because that's what keeps an air cool engine cool, right? The air helps, but it's all about the oil.
Now I noticed, Jack, that when you put the halves together, there was no sealer or anything between the two. Give me the 411 on that. What's
Ancient Chinese secret. Uh-oh.
Oh, this is a trade secret that he can't talk about.
Right.
So you lube it with this, and then right before you're going to put it in,
Right,
push the lifters out, put this on top of the lifter, where it's going to on the back of the face,
right.
push them in, and it seals it and it holds it up real quick.
Oh,
There you
But
go.
now they're already fell back down. They're already back to where they need to be.
right,
But
right.
it's just to get it in there.
Interesting. See, now, again, I'm not an engine builder,
Yeah.
but I would have thought there would be some sort of gasket or something there, but it really doesn't need to be when it's done right.
Just going to check in on the feedback from YouTube. So hello from Brazil. You know, I enjoy saying Fusca very much.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I'll say it again, Fusca. And JC is the king of power. And yes, we agree.
Yeah.
JC has been a Volkswagen force for a couple of decades now, Jack? 3 decades? 44 years.
How can that be when you're only 30? Yeah.
So
I've had fun in the last couple of years building these.
Have you?
It is a stress case to build a drag race engine. It's just, this is enjoyable. It's got a shot of adrenaline back into me. It just
Right.
feels good.
Well, I'll tell you what, VW Trends had the opportunity to come out to your house where your
Yeah.
shop is
Yeah.
and hang out with you and see the master at work, if you will, and watch how you put this stuff together. And I'll tell you, it's for me, who I have very limited mechanical background, it was so interesting to watch what you do, how you did it, and you make it look so easy. Right? I'd be tempted to try it, but I'm afraid it would explode. But it's fun to watch somebody who really knows what they're doing put a thing like this together.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good deal.
And if you're not having fun, you shouldn't
Right.
be
You
doing
don't do it. They say if you enjoy what you do, you never go to work.
it. Exactly.
So-
Exactly.
they say that, but I want to know who they are.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
Jack says that. Okay, very good.
So
All right, so Jack, can you tell us what's up next?
we're going to go ahead and start torquing the case halves together. And then we'll move on to oil pump, in play, and
Okay,
head studs,
Okay.
and top end.
so end play is something I think we want to chat about a little more in detail when we get there.
Yes.
Perfect. So
I'll
we'll
show you
talk
my-
about end play.
I'll show you my tricks of the trade.
Oh goodness. Okay,
Yeah,
we're going to
pretty
learn
quick.
some tricks. So
Wow.
so be ready, internet.
Take notes.
Excellent.
In play, isn't that a football term? Like, don't they do that on like the NFL or something? I don't know.
There's tight ends.
Okay.
There's end runs.
Oh, there we go. Maybe
Yes,
that's what
there's
I was
end
thinking
arounds.
about.
So I do want to notate how clean and sharp everything is. I mean, if you watch the way Jack works, there's no slop anywhere. There's no extra goo anywhere. This is a very tidy build by somebody who clearly has done this many, many times.
Yes, and I think we should note for those people who haven't seen what's underneath on the floor, we are building this engine on carpet.
Yep.
And now we don't recommend you do that in
No,
your house or
not
your mom's
usually.
house.
No.
That's probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
But the fact that he is doing this and nothing has dripped, like
Sure.
there has been nothing,
Yeah.
I think that's great.
That's a great point, Dan. I mean, there's a lot of fibers. If you were, if Jack's building a race motor,
Right.
he's going to be in an almost clean room condition.
Right.
Tolerances are super tight. This, I don't want to downplay that this is just a street engine, but the way the man is working, that indicates the level of skill.
Wow.
You give me some RTV, it's basically stuck everywhere. It's on the fridge handle.
It's in my face.
It's in the
all over.
bathroom.
It's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
good.
it's
not
not
good.
usually very tidy. So
No. Look at that.
that.
Goes.
I'm going to step away here.
Yep. Watch out. This is good stuff right here.
Is it?
It's moving.
Yay.
Mode flip, engine battle. If we have another one in 2026, 2025 is the next year. We'll make an announcement before the end of the year. Stay tuned. And then VW Trends has the best articles on VWs, I believe.
Oh, thank you. That's awfully. Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate that.
It's very kind.
And for those of you who don't subscribe, you can go to www.vwtrendsmagazine.com and get your subscription today and see all the coolest and latest stuff from the VW industry.
And hello, North Idaho. We see you, and thanks for being here. Jack, we're getting a question about Nylock case nuts versus stock VW nuts.
Well, Nylock's just the upgrade from the 60s that it just helps the oil that would run through the threads.
Mhm.
The Nylock just stops that oil.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it's just they say nothing like German hardware
Right.
back in the day. So I know a lot of people do hang on to that stuff, but those engines will tend to want to leak a little more if there's no sealant on the threads.
Right.
So they could use the German hardware, the old school used stuff, but they got to put a sealant on there, something to stop it, because it just runs through it.
So that's where the Nylock comes
Yes.
in. And
Yes.
helps.
Yeah.
Sure. It's nice.
So it sounds a bit like personal choice.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nylock nuts. Okay. Regular nuts. Sealant. Yes.
I'm a Nylock nut guy.
Okay.
1211 sealant, Loctite.
There you go. Another question answered. Thank you, Jack. This might be dangerous, but I'm going to go ahead and danger.
Uh-oh.
Does anybody here watching the live stream have a question for Jack about building an EMPI long block?
Jack, can you complete it without this one bolt?
Security? He's a shorter guy in a plaid? Okay. So the answer would be no, we need that bolt.
Yeah.
Any other questions? No? All right. If somebody has a question, just raise your hand. Or come hug Dan.
Sure. That works too. Now I have a question for you, Jack. Now, do you prefer to work in silence when you're building motor, or do you have some 80s hair metal playing?
Definitely the radio is blaring.
Yeah.
In my zone, feel my thing.
Right.
Phone turned off.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Good for you. That's smart. That's
Yeah,
super smart.
I can't walk away from something half done.
Right.
So it's oh yeah. Dogs barking, kids playing,
Right.
radio blaring.
I'm sure there's all kinds of interruptions and stuff happening.
Yeah, though I like to try to avoid.
I get it. I get it. One of the things I'm impressed with, Jack, is just how tidy you are. Like when you're putting it together, I just saw you wiping down stuff to make sure there's no weird debris or any excess anything. It's like you are 100% focused to make sure this is a super clean build.
When you're messing with parts that are high dollar,
Right.
you got a certain way you want to build them.
Yeah.
And it's just transferred over to the stock engines.
Yeah.
There's more than one way to build them, but I just I got my way.
Right.
Go through my routine, and so I could sleep easier at night, wondering if I did this or did that. Or
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I think so. And for those of you watching at home, we're going to be here for the long haul. The long haul of the long block, I suppose. We're going to see this thing through to its completion. So whether you're at work or if you're home hanging out, we're glad you're watching us instead of like reruns of Gunsmoke. I think this is a much more exciting thing to be doing. And it's history making. I don't think I personally have ever seen a start to finish long block built live on the internet. So I think it's very cool and very exciting. So thank you, Jack, for being willing to come out here and do this.
Having a great time. My pleasure.
And plus, we're in Las Vegas, Nevada, so we're only a few steps from a slot machine and a craps table.
Well, they
So
said
who
as soon
knows?
as I'm done,
We could put the long block on Black 13, take a spin, and see if we can 32-1.
that'll work. Just put this stuff on the edge, not on the face, just on the edge,
Oh, well,
just in case. And then even though I got Nylox,
right.
silicone to me is free.
Yep.
So I use it up.
I will put this in the measure twice, cut once category.
That's it.
What's that old saying? There's never time to do it right the first time, but plenty of time to do it over.
That's the truth.
And while we're thinking about it, a big shout out to our live stream team who is doing a great job of putting this together. There's a lot more than just one camera shooting. There's camera, there's audio, there's video, there's mixing boards, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that goes into doing something like this. So it's not just like somebody pulling out their Apple iPhone and doing a video. So kudos to the live stream team. Oh, we got a lot of people checking in from different parts of the world. We have France checking in. We've got Cape Town, South Africa. Hello, France. Love your French fries. Love the Perrier water. So yes, this is a worldwide event, people. We've got stuff happening all over. People are checking in. Of course, we have a huge crowd in front of the booth, and we've got people checking in online all over the place. So, Jack, let me ask you this. When did you decide to get into the racing aspect?
Well, in high school, my motorcycle shop teacher didn't like the auto shop teacher. And the auto shop teacher was always pushing his guys at, how fast their cars are, their V8s, their Camaros.
Right.
And I was always going to OCIR, hanging out, doing the bug-ins and things like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do a fast car, and I can tell you his name, Mr. Doyle.
Really?
Yeah. You're the best high school teacher ever. He just he goes, let's go kick their ass.
Really?
So,
that was his
yeah.
mantra. Just go out
And
do
he
it.
helped me. He was the one who helped me into the performance part of it. And Fullerton High School, Pomona Lane, we raced him.
Wow.
So I left that high school the fastest guy in the school.
Did you really?
Oh yeah. So, but I was hooked. It was
So the first time you mashed down that accelerator, it was like you were there.
Yeah, well, I always used to race in my mind with my 40 horse and Stinger,
Right.
take off my chromies and hang out scooter days. Yeah, you know that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So what are we doing here now? We're tightening down.
Yeah, all hardware's got to be torqued.
I saw you dialing in the torque spec.
Yes. So I got a number that I like on this torque wrench,
Mm-hmm.
and Just torque it to what I need to,
Right.
when it feels right with piece of hardware, and let it go. Okay.
I notice your torque ring has that little beep instead of the thunk that the
Yeah.
old ones used to.
Yeah. My old buddy from Virginia, Tay Wachowski, hooked me up with this. You might know he's an old drag racer guy.
Oh yeah, I know Tay.
Yeah, from Virginia, and he's a Snap-on dealer, and he got me all hooked up with it. I've been sold on this ever since.
Oh, actually, we have his split window featured in this current issue.
Oh,
of VW
nice.
Trends.
Yeah,
He's a great guy.
He does great work. So every time I bolt something on, every time anything gets bolted on, I like to check it, make sure
Just to make sure nothing's
didn't
locked
run
up.
into something. Now let's torque the case together.
Now let me ask you a quick question here, because I was looking at the case and I just noticed this white and green dot. Does that mean anything, or is that a
It comes from the manufacturer that way, and I don't know what the purpose is for it. I'll tell you, I've tried to clean that stuff off, and
it's on there?
yeah, it's on there.
Wow.
Good hardware here.
Also there.
Take what you want. Yep. Got some. Stop.
Jack Sacchette is building an all-new, all-empty long block, 1600cc, in the EMPI booth right now. If you're not on EMPI YouTube,
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed at how fast this goes together. I mean, it's always nice when you have all the parts laid out in front of you, so it really is just kind of like putting together a puzzle. But
Yep.
you've been putting this puzzle together for 40 years, so it's like really there's no sweat and there's no anxiety. Maybe I'm being a little too presumptuous. I'm sure there's a little anxiety when you're putting together a motor. That's why you go and you check everything. I thought it was very interesting that every time you do something, you just check the crank to make sure it turns.
Yeah, always have to inspect your work and reinspect it. Just
Right.
When the customer gets it, it's got to be trouble free.
Right.
And the one thing I'd hate is just phone calls like, "What's this? What's that?"
Oh, yeah.
So try to make it easy as plug and play.
so if so bumps and roads, you go to MPUS.com, you can hit long blocks, you can hit 1600cc, and you will see the full, what we call bill of materials, which is right there on the MP website. And street surfing, I need that for my wife's 73 restoration. If she was born in 73, she's probably okay still. So hey, everybody out there, social media, Facebook, is really increased. Right, we can use it as a first number long block in, out, more stuff. You can see that. How do you know? All of the cost.
And we got more people checking in from around the world. Missouri, well, that's not really around the world, but it's in halfway around the world. I've been there. And we also have Tom V. Dub checking in from Quebec, Canada. We've got Angel Ramirez saying hello from Mexico City. All sorts of great things in there. Oh, someone answered my question about the white and green marks. Jack, they're saying that they might be there for quality checks and balances during the production of the cases.
Good to know.
Yeah, I didn't know. See, I'm learning something new every day, right?
Yeah, we built a lot of them. I didn't know the answer.
Andreas is saying hello from Sweden. And Great Britain is checking in. So this is awesome. We've got it's worldwide, Rob. This is a worldwide phenomenon. We are making history right here in the EMPI booth.
I love it. I love it. And it's something I have to say, Dan, I know you've observed this as well, but the Volkswagen culture, the heritage, the enthusiasm, it is truly a worldwide phenomenon. When we go to Chimay, Belgium for European Bug-In, the people that we speak with, it doesn't matter where they live or what their accent is.
Right.
They love Volkswagen. They also love EMPI. They love what they're doing with their cars, and everybody's got their own take. Everybody's got their own style.
Absolutely.
Everybody's got their own groove, and it's so much fun to get together in these big shows. You mentioned OCIR back in the day.
Back in the day.
We want to help foster that kind of community.
Yes.
And get people together like that. So stay tuned. We've got some plans for what we might be doing in the future.
Very exciting.
EMPI Engine Battle was really just one step
that
in
was
that
like
direction.
The kickoff, if you will.
I looked at it as kind of a big test of what our audience want to follow along. And just like the long block build, I know we had people from Sweden, from Iceland, from Brazil, from Norway, as I recall, all over the U.S. They all followed along the engine battle. And it only makes sense that the crowd would follow us today while Jack is building this all-new, all-EMPI long block.
Exactly. You know, and that's, you touched on something that I thought was great, was that no matter where you go, no matter what language you speak, if you have a VW, you're part of the family.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's so wonderful about this group, because I've run into people from England. Never met them before in my life, but we have that instant connection, that instant brotherhood. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen that in any other enthusiast group like this. And that's what I think makes this industry amazing.
Yeah, I do think the Volkswagen culture is extremely open and willing to assist and help and share knowledge. And, I'll go back to OCIR, one of my very first car shows as a kid. I think I might have been a 7th grader.
Wow.
It was just amazing. I was completely mesmerized by all of it.
Right.
I watched the engine pull. I watched the drag racing. I watched the autocross. I will admit I watched the T-shirts where they were wet. Maybe that was it. I'm not sure. But
you were young and
I was very impressionable. And what I strive to do is to try to recreate those kinds of moments where Volkswagen enthusiasts feel seen and appreciated and get a chance to really let it all hang out.
Yep.
And it was great fun. And I look forward to EMPI supporting those kinds of events.
Yes, absolutely. And I agree with you 100%.
Why don't we take a minute? Why don't we call in Julio Chico, see if he's got any questions or any thoughts for Jack that he'd like to discuss.
No questions. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing this for a long time. He's already built over almost 300 complex to us.
Yes, he has.
He's the man.
So
he knows what he's doing.
So Julio, let's talk about your experiences. How many engines have you built?
Thousands of engines.
Right.
Engines. There was a time when we were building 2 to 3 a day, long blocks and stuff.
Okay.
One or turnkey, a day. So yeah, it was nonstop. That's what we did.
And I want to point out for those who don't know, so Julio is one of our account managers at EMPI. He deals directly with EMPI dealers. So if you think about the knowledge that's being transferred from a man who's built thousands of engines to a dealership, an EMPI dealer who is servicing thousands of EMPI customers and probably building hundreds of EMPI engines, that stream of knowledge, that ability, and that skill, that starts at the heart of EMPI. And that's our account team that is dealing with our dealers around the world.
Yeah, if you guys need any help, any questions, about engines, give us a call at EMPI. We'll help you out.
You can also email tech@mpus.com and speak with our very own Henry, who can answer many of your technical questions, particularly while you're installing. If you run into a problem, you know what you really shouldn't do is just go on Facebook and flame us, because that's probably not going to help. But you could email tech@mpus, or you can call us at 714-446-9606, and you can speak with a real live person that will connect you with our tech department, or somebody like Julio, or our other members of our account team that have on average 15, 25 years of Volkswagen knowledge.
That's right.
There you go.
20, 25, some even 40, I believe, right?
Perfect. Thank you, Julio.
Right.
Now?
We're gonna put the subplate on
All right.
screen, and then we're ready to start setting in place. Head stats and then in plate.
Oh, wow.
And then we're home. We're on our way home. From that, it's home free.
So would you say we are about at the halfway mark? Or
Yeah.
past the halfway mark?
No, we're coming up to the halfway mark.
Okay.
When in play is set, it's about after in play set, it's about an hour and a half after that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I have to say, this is going by really quickly. Now, am I? Is it just my excitement in saying
No.
that, or is this faster than you would normally?
Oh, this is it. But there's a lot of prep work before we even get to the point of putting it together.
Right. Right.
You know, I remember I take when they drop off a truckload of engines, it's one full day just to unwrap everything.
Really?
Yeah, one full day, 2 guys, and then we got to go. It's a lot. So it might be the 3rd day we're working on them, and then
Okay.
we're starting to actually assemble them. After about 3
tell me-
days.
that brings up an interesting point. So tell me about your work week. I mean, so what I'm hearing you say is the truck shows up on Monday.
Yeah.
You unload the truck. Well, I'm sure you have help
Yeah.
unloading.
We have a forklift,
But
and
you pull the stuff out, you unwrap it, you get it prepped and ready. About how many engines do you do in a week?
my quota is 5 a week.
Okay.
In the racing world, it's 5 a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
So yeah, but this is much more enjoyable building these.
I was going to say, I would think that this would be a lot less stress and a lot more, I don't want to say relaxed, but it's the only word I can think of at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It looks like it's going together quick, but there is definitely prep work.
Right, right.
Am I missing one?
No.
Okay, good. Security. You're watching it for me. Guys, lights are a little warm.
Yeah, we've got people checking in from all over the world. Now, that doesn't make you nervous, does it? Having all these people watching you on the internet?
No, it really doesn't. It's just when I'm in other parts of the world and someone recognizes me, that stresses me out.
Why? Do you owe money? Is that what it is?
No. I've been to a place in where was it, the Great Barrier Reef, and we're renting snorkel equipment,
Right.
and the guy saw our last name and just went crazy. And I'm like, whoa.
Your reputation preceded you, is what I'm hearing.
Well, yeah, he was this, and then he started saying stuff to everybody, and everybody on the boat all day long is staring at us like I was somebody special. I'm like, dude, I bleed just like everybody else.
Well, in this world, you are kind of a hero. You're one of those people that people look up to because of the accomplishments you've done.
Oh, that legend in your own mind.
Legend in your own mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every day, get up, do these things, play with the grandkids.
Right.
Just do my thing,
Well, that's what it's all about, really. Kind of like what we talked about. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you shouldn't be doing it.
And that's the truth. Absolutely.
Now, is there a set torque that you set this down to?
This is the only hardware in the whole engine I don't torque.
Really?
Yeah, it's more like you just got to have that feeling.
It's just feel.
You know, it's like they say 6 foot-pounds, and and then you do it 6, and you go and you can still do another half a turn on it. It's one of those things. I just feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't recommend it for people that don't know or haven't done a lot of them, but it's
Well, you've been doing this for 40 years, so it only makes sense that you have the know-how to know when it's ready.
done a few. What happened to the air conditioner, huh?
No.
Is that Brandon's house? Yes.
So again, for those of you who are at the SEMA Show 2024 in Las Vegas, Nevada, if you're not at booth at 23427, you are definitely missing out on some history making going on. Putting together a 1600 cc long block by the world famous, world renowned, at least in Great Barrier Reef rentals, Jack Sacchette, putting things together. Usually be here. Love the fact that you guys are watching fun checking this out. And live.
Okay.
So, Jack, tell us a little bit about Ashland's journey into VW racing. How did that even start? Did she just come up to you and say, "Hey, I want to race"?
Oh, I told her she has to do it.
She had to do it. She was
No,
forced into
I'll tell you what. My wife and I traveled all over the United States with these kids racing.
Right.
Texas, and I mean, it was tough. I remember getting pulled over in Texas one time at 2 a.m. from a highway patrol or cop.
Oh, no.
We're towing, and we roll down the window. It's like 2 a.m, and all the kids wake up and start screaming and crying. And the cop looks at me and goes, "Have a good day."
Well, that's one way to get out of it.
Yeah,
And I think
exactly.
That's
So
to those of you playing at home, find some kids, put them in the back of the car if you're ever going to get pulled over.
yeah, exactly. So with Ashland, it wasn't like it was a plan. It was, we get to the races, and it's 6 a.m. or whatever.
Right.
Everybody's in there sleeping in the car. She would be the only one that would get up and say, "Dad, what can I do?"
Really?
Yeah, and she would do the wheelie bars. She did a lot of the work. I mean, at the track.
So she was all over it. Like she was the one kid that was always there. Like
Yes,
first,
yeah.
first, what do they call it? First in, last out.
Yeah. So she, when I went to go look at the car, and I wanted to get an NHRA style car, Ashland went with me. She was just always there, and she sat in the car and she goes, "Dad, this will work perfect for me." And I'm like, "Yeah, right." And little did I know, she wasn't messing around. So
yeah, she was a very hardcore competitor.
Well, the situation was she wanted to go race, And I told her she has to bracket race first.
Right.
And
Cut her chops.
yeah, so I told her, don't get used to this, and it's not easy. I gotta tighten this thing. You know, it takes years. Some people don't even win.
Right.
And so a couple of weeks before the event, I took her in a bracket car, a water-cooled Beetle, and I showed her about testing, taught her about the lights.
Right.
And then showed her a lot of things, videos of me and what I had to do and to get going. And I don't have a hard time with this one. I don't have the right ratchet. And lo and behold, she goes to her first race and she wins the freaking thing. She won the whole event, her very first race she entered. And then she goes, okay, is that good enough? I want to drive your car now.
Wow.
And I said, okay, after the end of the season, I was racing 2 series in 2017.
Right.
And I was racing Pro Gas and I was racing Super Stock, and I won both series and both of them. Then okay, that's good enough. And so she jumped in. 2018, she won every event. 2019, she won every event.
Wow.
And Super Stock heads up racing. So she was hooked.
That's
after that. Yeah.
So she jumped right in.
Yeah.
From the first race into the deep end.
Yeah, after her first tenure year of bracket racing,
Hey, Bayard, both
she jumped into it and she's done it.
Wow.
Not sure what your
So
is.
I need a tool.
Be 70 years of EMPI. So yes, we care very much about all of this. So thank you for playing along. Let's try to keep it clean. Thanks so much. Steve Hull from Bug Forum in Sacramento. Thanks for loaning us your brothers for the SEMA show. We appreciate it very much. Hope everybody's enjoying the live stream. Jack's torquing, turning. We've got something that looks like a long block.
Yeah, it does.
Jack, what's next?
Head studs and in play.
Head studs and end play. Do. That's next.
I think that's a country western song, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that it is. I think it was Tammy Wynette.
Yes, you are right.
Yes.
I think it was a Tammy Wynette song.
Actually, Fist City. You want to go to Fist City? That's my
Really?
That's my
your
go-to.
jam.
Yeah, that's
your
a
jam.
pretty fun song. If you haven't
Wow.
had a chance to listen, it's about a lady ready to throw down. So
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I'm
So-
going to check that out on Spotify.
I think you should.
So now for this particular motor, we're doing dual port heads, correct?
Correct. Yes,
I do notice you do have some on the display here that are single port.
we do. EMPI recognized, got some feedback that single port for particular kinds of users, that magnesium case, that single port head,
Right.
that they wanted that. I'll say, I won't say retro,
Okay.
but I'll say they wanted that on authenticity of a single port engine, which does have some torque advantages. I understand that. So we decided, you know what? Let's try out a single port long block. And we launched that about 45 days ago. And so far, the response has been quite good.
Wow, nice. Very
Yep.
good. So there's options.
Many options. You can
Very
get a all new, all EMPI long block, 1600, 1776, 1914 aluminum case. You can get a mag case. Now you can get a single port mag case. And I think we've talked a little bit about fully turnkey, run in, dyno tested 1600cc engine coming soon.
Wow. So when is that going to hit? Do we know?
We expect in the first quarter of next year.
Nice. Very cool. So something to look forward to
Right.
in 2025.
Yep. So Jack will build the long block. Our team internal will build it out.
Okay.
Single carburetor, ignition system, shroud, all of the bits, the clutch. It'll be run in at EMPI on our dyno in Anaheim. Still 12-month unlimited mileage warranty.
Wow.
And that engine will be ready to pop into whatever you're building.
Very
So-
cool.
Like we said earlier, you've got a project that's stuck. You've got a car that you don't know what to do to get it back on the road.
Right.
Why tempt fate with maybe some used parts of unknown origin?
Yeah.
Let's just
You don't
drop
want to do
in.
that. You don't-
Let's just drop in a new turnkey engine and get on the road and remember why Volkswagens are so fun to drive.
Right. Exactly. Bringing the fun back.
Bringing the fun back. Exactly.
And of course, you can always read about that in VW Trends magazine.
You could do that.
You could subscribe today too if you.
Actually, one moment. I'll be right back.
Oh, all right. He's leaving me alone with the microphone. I don't know. This is a dangerous sign. Let's see. What do we have here? Anybody checking in? Let's see. Oh, Brazil said hi.
So speaking of VW Trends magazine, Dan,
There
I
it is
wanted
right
to bring out the latest issue. So this has all the engine battle coverage. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
It also has, we can't say centerfold, but we can say
We call it a
a
gatefold
gatefold
in the
of
publishing world.
the engine battle, the top 3 finishers. They were here yesterday to sign this fine poster.
They were. It was
So-
awesome. Had a nice crowd of people come through to get
Definitely.
the autographs. I got one autograph for myself.
Nice. So did I.
I'm not
So-
saying I put it on eBay, but just saying.
If you haven't picked up the fall issue of VW Trends, this is what's waiting for you.
Absolutely.
This is center stapled, so you can remove this. You can hang it over the bed. You could put it in your office. You can do any number of things with it. But we wanted to celebrate and commemorate the top 3 finishers of the EMPI engine battle.
Absolutely.
There's about 6 pages of editorial on the battle and all the competitors.
Yep.
So if you-
Absolutely.
If you have any questions about the battle, it's all in here.
And you can pick that up, by the way, if you subscribe, or if you just want a single issue, just go to www.vwtrendsmagazine.com and pick yours up today.
There's also an EMPI ad on the back cover, so
There
don't
is,
miss
by
that.
the way. There is.
Thank you.
Setting the in play, am I correct?
That's what I heard. Jack, is that correct? End plays next? All right.
Then we're halfway home.
So a couple more head studs to go.
Yep.
Okay.
This wouldn't work very good if we left off some head studs.
No, we don't want to miss those.
No.
Those are important.
Yes. This isn't like IKEA furniture where you end up with different pieces of nuts and bolts and stuff.
Some leftovers. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's no leftovers when Jack Sacchette is building
Yep.
an all new EMPI long block. All the hardware is accounted for. Dan, I'll ask you a question. If you were going to build a Volkswagen next week, what would you build? What's your dream Volkswagen?
Gosh, you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that because I was actually just thinking about that last night. I'll just throw this out there. This has never been even verbalized before.
Okay.
But one of the things VW Trends Magazine wants to do in 2026
Mhm.
is we want to do a giveaway car
Okay.
and we want to do a buggy.
Okay. I like it.
I would love to do a just crazy, radical street buggy, something that nobody has ever done before. I'm thinking really crazy stuff like,
Okay.
I mean, if I had to create a wish list of stuff, I would want to put a 371 blower on it. I
Wow.
want to go crazy.
Okay.
I want to do something that's going to spark people's imagination and
Okay.
get them excited about getting crazy again. I know
Yeah.
a lot of people they're looking for the older cars from the 80s and 90s and bringing them back.
Yes.
You know, refurbishing them in the future.
Sure.
But I'm thinking in the future. I'm thinking, how can we push this industry forward
Mhm.
and really stretch the boundaries of creativity?
That's the other.
So,
it's the,
That's something that we're doing. Me personally,
Mhm.
I've got a 56 oval window.
Great.
And I want to do a hardcore killer cowlet buck.
Okay.
I've always wanted one. Never
Sure.
had it when I was a
Mhm.
kid.
Yep.
So now that I'm older and
Mhm.
well, I was going to say wiser, but that's probably not the case. Now that I'm just older and have
Yep.
a little more resource,
Yep.
yeah, I'd like to build a bug, maybe turbo.
Okay.
Don't know.
Okay.
Something crazy, but open for ideas. So
Sure.
if any of our listeners
Yes.
or viewers
Have a suggestion?
want to chime in, I am open to suggestions.
Okay.
I think it'd be great.
I like the idea. Hey, Ian. Thanks. So, not to be a a follower,
Okay,
but
go ahead.
after we built our Myers-Manx for 2022 SEMA
Yes.
with its removable seats that I
Right.
believe were an industry first, with its integrated sand rails, also I believe a industry first. I've been hankering for another dune buggy.
Have you really?
I have. And just a straight up buggy, not unlike the Ocean Spray.
Right.
I
Which is
love.
beautiful, by the way.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful, and EMPI's making it so easy right now. Buggy in a box,
Right.
beam in a box. There's
Right.
so many easy ways to put together a buggy now
Right.
that the idea of waiting months and months for an engine, waiting months and months for your chassis, body, etc. Those days are basically gone. Supply
Which is
chain,
awesome, right?
Yep.
It's not, you don't have to sit there and go, oh my gosh, did I forget something?
Right.
It's like you go there, go to the shelf, get the box, and everything's there.
Exactly.
And I love that. I
Yeah.
think that's a brilliant move for you guys. I
Thanks.
love that.
And don't tell anyone, but I've been trawling Facebook Marketplace, dune buggy.
For a buggy?
There's a lot of unloved /
There are.
abandoned buggies. And I think about getting a Volkswagen back on the road.
Right.
And taking all that patina and that grit and that grime and
Yes.
putting a new powertrain in it.
Oh,
And I
that'd
think
be
that'd
awesome.
be I think that'd be fun.
I think you should do it.
Yeah.
I think you should do it.
I'll be on OnlyFans trying to collect the funds. Thank you. So
I was going to do OnlyFans, and I decided that I have a new tactic.
yes,
I am going to be fully clothed, and if people don't send me money,
sure.
I'm going to start taking clothes off. I think I'll make a fortune.
I don't think you're wrong.
No,
I
I'm
think
just
you got
saying.
something going there. So let's check in with Jack. Is that the last head stud? All right.
Oh,
So
sure it is.
get ready for end play time. And I know Jack is going to walk us through the setting of the end play because that's one of those questions that seems to come up pretty regularly.
Right.
So stay tuned. It's coming. And if I didn't give Tim Sletton a shout out at Sletton Engineering, then that was my fault. I should have done that earlier.
Oh.
Tim, we're glad you're watching. We appreciate everything you do for the Class 11 guys, all the streetcar guys out there in the, I believe we call that the Palm Springs metro area. So go Sletton Engineering.
Nice.
It's a friend of mine.
Put this thing on here.
Booth number 23427 in the center hall over at SEMA. You are missing out on a industry first where Jack Sacchette is building a 1600cc EMPI long block right here in the booth, live without a net, as they say. All right, the long block has been taken and is moved to the table.
Here is, what is that?
So give us a thumbnail, Jack, on in play, why it's so important. I mean, I know, but there could be people at home who don't.
Well, you got to have enough clearance
Right.
between the flywheel and the bearing, and you do that with shims. And you set it. It's preferably have a minimum of 3 shims.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you had 10 shims; doesn't matter. But if at least 3, and every crank, every flywheel is different bearing width.
Right.
So you got to preset it, find your distance, and then make your choice of shims. And I've never seen one burn up at 4th thou. I have seen them burn up at 3.
Really?
Yeah, and I haven't seen them burn up at 10th thou. So I'm not saying a 10's the answer. When you're in a race car with flange bearings, 10 is what you use.
Right.
But for a race engine or for a street engine, 4 to 6 is fine. It's just the quality of the materials have changed, the expansion rate of the bearings have changed.
Right.
Things are just different than from the 60s. So some people, I had a guy call up and says, I want mine at 2.5. I'm like, well, then you take it back apart and you change it because I'm not doing it. So, everybody's different. Everybody's got a different opinion.
Sure.
And I haven't had any issues setting them anywhere. I mean, if I set it and it's at 5, I leave it. I set it if it's at 6, I leave it. If I set it, it's at 2, I make a change.
So now, what are the pitfalls of say having too much in play or too little in play? Like,
Well,
what could happen? Because I think a lot of people don't understand the importance of it,
too
why it's set.
too little in play is an issue.
Yeah.
You'll create heat on the shims. The shims are going to bite the bearing, and you're going to it's going to drag on the rear bearing. Then you're going to they spin the bearing or roll on top of the dowel pin, and you're done. The engine's got to come apart. So it's only oil that's in between all the shims and stuff, and you just got to have a little bit of a cushion.
Right.
Now, too much in play, what happens is the engine will rattle at idle. It'll go quiet when you push the clutch in because you're pushing it in and everything tightens up. But
when you let it out,
let it out. It vibrates. You can see the pulley bouncing back and forth. It's just, and then it'll actually wear on that O-ring seal. It'll start leaking eventually. It's just.
I think if we need to paraphrase it, it's bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
Right.
So I need this. I need this.
So now this is where that whole math thing you were talking about comes into play.
Yeah, I just gotta know my distances.
Right. So like, what's that one?
380, 360, 364.
Okay.
$328.
So now this is where you go with the
So, yeah.
Get it to where you want it.
Yeah, what I'm figuring out is what it gets to get to zero.
Oh,
Zero, and then you can start subtracting thicknesses to get to the correct in play. So right now, I know if I put a 36 in there, it's just going to be zero in play.
Right.
And this isn't like, this is just a ballpark. You're always going to pre-do it, and then you're going to check with an indicator.
Right.
And just to, so to do in play properly, the flywheel's got to go on, and it's got to come back off. And then it goes, you don't want to do it with the seal. You don't want to do it with oil.
Right.
Just want to dry run everything and check it, take it apart, put it back together permanently. So I need right here. Six.
So now what you're doing here with the shims is you are checking the measurements so that you can get that down to a zero.
You get a bag of shims and they say they're all the same size.
But they are absolutely not.
Yeah, you gotta check everything.
Picture so you see.
Yeah. I brought extra ones just in case.
Never hurts. Flywheel see going on the bar.
Okay.
I kind of feel like a commentator in a golf game.
Yeah, it's going about as slow as golf.
Stop being quiet.
Try to be quiet while I make my shot.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. We're at a trade show. Nobody's gonna be quiet. Are you kidding me?
Where's the hecklers in the crowd?
Yeah, we haven't really had any hecklers. I thought for sure I'd incite some of them, but no haters that I can see yet. So. All right, so what are you doing here?
Locking the flywheel down.
Okay.
And then I am about to look for tools that I keep losing.
Right. Right, exactly.
Right here. Right here.
Oh, that's a great,
That's great. It's one man band.
right?
Okay, I need a red ratchet.
Flywheel has to have a specific torque in it, correct?
Yep. Now there's a race car torque and there's a street car torque.
Okay,
Do you want to know the difference?
sure.
Race car tight as you can without it breaking.
And then what's a street car?
Yeah, 400 is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can get that. Okay, I got 11 millimeters somewhere. And
Dan, what are we up to? What's happening?
He's torquing down the flywheel.
Okay.
We already talked about setting the in play, which
Okay.
I learned some stuff. I thought
Good.
it was actually very educational.
All right.
okay,
I do have one question, Jack. Will that table withstand the torque multiplier?
yeah, we'll find out.
We'll find
It's
out.
all right.
That sounds a little bit dangerous.
It does. That's why I'm moving back here with Rob,
Sure.
just in case something
Okay.
goes awry.
Sold my 11. They can't handle.
This is really neat, Rob. It's a great opportunity to see all of the work that goes into making one of the EMPI long blocks.
Yeah, I think there's a perception, and we saw a little bit of it on the live stream, that these parts should be cheap, that long block should be cheap,
Right,
that all of this should be a lower cost than it is.
right.
And the reality is, and I hate to sound like everybody's dad, but I will for a moment.
Sure.
Are there more machine shops where you live now than there were 5 years ago? And the answer is no, there are not. My favorite machine shop, the guy was magic.
Right.
He could do almost anything. He just up and retired,
Right.
literally just shut down one day. And
Wow.
when you think about the Volkswagen knowledge, we think about our dealers around the world, and we think about the competency required to build a quality, repeatable
Yes.
long block or an engine.
Yes.
Those resources are getting smaller.
Oh, yeah.
They're not
Shrinking
getting
every
greater.
year. Shrinking every year.
Correct. So, as the old saying goes, not everything is cheap is good,
Right.
right? And the reality is, all of the tips and tricks that are in Jack's mind, there's a different set of tips and tricks in other builders' minds.
Right.
And that's what keeps it interesting, number one. But number two, that knowledge is extremely valuable.
Yes.
Those parts are valuable. They're not cheap like they used to be. It's very hard to pick up a $500 Volkswagen anymore.
Oh, yeah. You can't find them.
Right.
If you can, you've hit the lottery.
Exactly. So the reality is, we don't live in a cheap environment anymore.
Right.
And if you want quality that you can drive and start from the seat regularly, it's going to cost you some money.
Yes.
That's the reality. So I'll just ask the crowd a question real quick. How many times, any new SEMA visitors here? Anybody new to the SEMA show? Raise your hand. We got a new guy over here. Okay. So raise your hand if you've been here more than 5 years. Been to more than 5 SEMAs. Been to more than 10 SEMAs. Okay.
Wow.
More than 15 SEMAs. More than 20 SEMAs. No? So we got a lot of SEMA newbies here. So Jack Sacchette, world famous Volkswagen drag racer engine builder, he's building an all new, all EMPI 1600cc long block. EMPI has been having a contest with our dealer base. An EMPI dealer is going to win this long block. And we believe this is the first Volkswagen long block ever built at the SEMA show. So when you are playing craps tonight and you're a little liquored up, you can tell whoever you meet, I was there for the first one ever. So thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Witnessing history.
Witnessing history, exactly. Pardon me.
So, Rob, what do you think that the Vegas odds are? I'm sure because you can bet on anything here in Las Vegas. What do you think are the Vegas odds? Do they have it broken down like Jack's going to finish at 2:01 p.m. or is it going to what are the odds? Do we know?
That's a great question. I don't know the odds on that.
All right.
I know how Jack works. I've been to his workshop as you have. He's a very meticulous man. He works at a very specific pace.
Right.
So I'm confident that when he's done is when he's done.
Okay. That's very good. Very good.
Thank you.
I was going to put $5 down to see if I could win some cash
Well,
for the buffet tonight.
Chip Foose is going to be here in about half an hour, 45 minutes. So
nice.
I was hoping that Jack would be at finishing touches. And then him and Chip could have a quick get together.
Nice.
But we'll see how it goes. I don't rush an artist or a craftsman.
No, you cannot.
It never turns out well.
No. Now, Chip is going to be here. He's going to be autographing these limited edition playing cards.
He is, yes.
I want a pair or a pair.
You want all 52 of them?
Yeah, I'll take
all right.
Cards.
Okay.
I got to brush up on my poker skills.
Seems like it. Yeah, seems like it. So yeah, we're very proud to be announcing our collaboration with Chip Foose. Chip loves Volkswagen.
Yeah.
When we started talking, you have no understanding of what a wonderful human being he is. And the fact that he loves Volkswagen is just icing on top of that cake.
Yeah.
So we got together, we're showing off a handful of new parts that we'll be launching with Chip.
Oh, sweet.
And we thought, you know what better way? We're in Vegas. Let's do this set of EMPI Foose playing cards. And so Chip will be signing about 500 of them.
Oh,
and people are already lining up. So it should be exciting.
Look at this.
Yep.
They are lining up.
Yep. Should be very exciting.
Holy cats. Now it looks like we're, he's putting in the seal. So he's already set the end play. So now the flywheel is going on again for the last time, I believe. For those of you watching at home, I just wanted to take this moment to remind you that VW Trims Magazine is the presenting sponsor of this live engine build from SEMA 2024. And you can also subscribe if you go online to www.vwtrimsmagazine.com. You can pick up a lot of swag. We've got t-shirts, hats, we've got subscriptions. And if you haven't subscribed, why haven't you subscribed? That's what I'm asking. So head over there today and make sure that you get your subscription locked in for all of the Volkswagen news and information that you can use. Now, Jack, tell me, why is it that I saw that you took the flywheel off and you re-cleaned the threads on that. Why is that?
Well, I do all my pre-assembly with grease on the threads.
Okay.
And then at the very end, when I'm done, I knock all that stuff off, and then I'll put the Loctite on there.
Oh, okay. All right. So you
some-
make sure you have a clean palette to put stuff on. Very good.
So you got grease on the thread, grease in here. Just want to give it a clean up so the Loctite can do its job.
Right.
You know, I know guys that don't use Loctite at all, and they say they have no problem with it. It's just extra precaution.
Right. Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yes.
Or in this case, cleanliness is next to not having your motor explode.
Okay.
So now with the flywheel installed and the case, the head studs installed, we are getting very, very close to getting the dual port heads put on and super close to the engine being completed. This is very exciting as we're kind of coming to we're coming over the last hill, the last hurdle, if you will, of putting this engine together.
Done. No. Where does it stand? Oh.
Yeah. I'm probably get that now. Getting very close to having the assembled short block going back on the stand, taking it off the precarious table that Jack has it on there, but he seems confident that that thing is not going to destroy the table. And here we go. Of Jack Sacchette moving an engine across the show floor.
Okay. Excellent.
All right. We are getting close, ladies and gentlemen.
Got like a little chair or something. A chair. I'm going to build piston cylinders out here in front. Where do you want me to build them at? Wherever you want. Where do you want to build them? Camera up for the camera, or that sounds icy. You want to be over here? Just work? Yeah, that's fine.
So now we're getting ready to put the pistons together and then attach them to the rods, obviously. Then put the barrels on. So it definitely is coming down to the home stretch on this. Pretty amazing that you're able to put together an engine in this short amount of time. But I guess when you've got the experience that that Jack has, this is he could almost do this blindfolded.
I bet he almost could. But there is an extra charge for blindfolding.
Yes, exactly.
So that's not included in the usual services.
No. think that's an added value bonus.
Exactly. So, Jack, if you want to share anything, if there's any special knowledge, any like a Zen place you put your mind when you're doing pistons and cylinders, we'd appreciate hearing about it.
Yeah, it's all been pre-cleaned.
Yes.
But, you get them brand new, you pop them out and clean everything.
Yes. Yes.
I went through all that. Now I'm going to reinstall them.
Mhm.
So rain compressor, you can get it EMPI right
Yep.
here. I can tell you the part number. Can you?
I don't know the part number. Sorry.
Was a pretty good one earlier. But yeah, just installing them up.
Okay.
You get them going.
Beautiful.
So we're getting to the home stretch.
Nice. I love it. Keep up the good work.
Yes.
I have to say, Jack, you really make this look easy.
Like I would be afraid to get up here doing.
Yeah, it's pretty routine now.
Yeah. It's almost like muscle memory. So, Rob, there's a lot of places checking in. We've got viewers from all over the world, from Norway, we've got Mexico, we've got Canada. They're everywhere. So we've got a lot of people tuning
Hi,
in.
Hector. Could you step out, please?
Jack,
Thanks. Yeah, we got.
Jack,
Thank you.
I think it's amazing,
right.
and it just goes to show that I would dare say that half the people have never attempted to build an engine, but yet they want to watch and they want to see and they want to learn.
Yes. This is craftsmanship.
It is. It's an artist. It really is an artist.
A lot of people talk about how easy Volkswagen engines are and how simple they are and all of that. But the reality is the measuring, the very finite clearances, we've talked about tolerances, end play. There are a number of places where you can go very wrong.
Right.
And a guy like Jack that has, when you see the green stuff in the matrix, right? It's running up and down the screen.
Right.
I know that's where his mind is. My dad was a machinist.
Oh,
he
really?
could look at something and rattle off tolerances, and then he would pull out a micrometer and say, "See, I told you."
Oh.
So those kinds of people, which clearly didn't transfer to me, because I'm in marketing.
Right.
The reality is, craftsmanship is. I think it should be appreciated.
Yes.
It should be honored. And like we mentioned earlier, there are fewer shops. There are fewer people like Jack walking the planet. We need more of them.
Yes, we do.
I.e., I'm looking at you, vocational education people.
Yep.
I'm looking at machinists and craftsmen who have a trade and are looking for work to do. I'm very confident. I'm going to go out on a limb here. Carburetors are going to be around for a while.
Oh, yes.
Setting points, that's going to be around for a while. Working on Volkswagens, that's going to be around for a while.
Yes.
No offense to any Tesla EV drivers, not my cup of tea.
Yep.
EMPI loves carburetors. We also love fuel injection, but we really, really, really love carburetors.
Of course.
So we need those craftsmen and those machinists and those mechanics to keep these vehicles running.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that, the younger generation really needs to grasp a hold of, that you can still jump in and build cool stuff.
Yes.
It's like really, you're only limited by you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do it, who is going to?
Right.
That's the thing.
Right. And to be able to take a long block like our EMPI long block, and let's face it, the really fun parts are bolting on manifolds, bolting on carburetors.
Absolutely.
Getting your shroud set up right, getting all the tin in the right place.
Yep.
What color do I want it to be? What kind of exhaust do I want? I mean, there are so many personal touches. Once you have that core of the engine, you can do so many things. You can go so many different directions.
Right. Nope, you're 100%. And I saw that over the last 2 days while I was walking around the SEMA show. It's some of the VWs that were here, and it's just so much fun to see the personal expression that people do, and especially when you're talking motors, because the sky's really the limit.
It is.
You can do whatever you want, and there are so many little nuances that you can do to set your car apart from others. And like you said, it all starts at the basis with an EMPI long block.
That's true. That's true. All right, Jack, how's it coming together?
Good. Getting ready to hang the piston cylinders. And just go on to the next step.
One of the comments from online on Facebook, Eddie says, "I've built hundreds of engines, but I appreciate watching the pros do it."
Mhm.
And I think there's wisdom in that.
Sure.
Because it's like you may think you know everything, but you're watching something and he may do something a little bit different. You go, "I never thought of that."
Yeah, most definitely.
And I think that's great. It's like you're never too young or too old to learn something new.
And really, hopefully, the people that are watching the stream, this video will be available on the EMPI website. It'll be available at EMPI dealers on long block pages. What I really hope is that it's not just the inspiration of watching someone else do the great work,
Right.
but learning and visualizing how this would all come together.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you ever build an engine,
Right.
Appreciating what goes into it, what it takes, and what comes out of it.
Yes.
Meaning this is going to get somebody's car back on the road.
Yes.
That's where I think the real magic is here. And obviously, we're so glad that Jack could join us for this. Him and Ashlyn are going to be racing this weekend locally in Las Vegas. So he's a busy guy. He's got a lot going on. And I know he wants to see Ashlyn do well on the track. We want to see her do well on the track.
Right.
But this is an idea that we just couldn't drop. We latched onto it. And when I shared it with Jack, he said, "You know what? That sounds like great fun. Let's do it."
Oh, I think it's revolutionary. I think it's so much fun because everyone has seen static pictures of people building motors.
Yes.
But this is the first time, at least that I know of, now correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but this is the first time I've seen an actual motor being put together start to finish. And I think it's very exciting because, like I said, I've visited Jack's shop. I've seen him in action, but I've only seen moments,
chapters. Yeah, not
Chapters,
the whole,
like
not the whole
never-
story.
Yeah, I've never opened the cover and
Sure.
went to the end.
Yep.
And this is really pretty cool, and especially from someone who appreciates what goes into it, even though I've never delved into building one. It's like I can see things, and now I can talk a little more intelligently about like what goes into it, like
Yep.
setting the end plate, like the shims, like all that other
Yeah.
stuff. It's like it's really good when you have someone who is a master and pro telling you how to do it instead of somebody of a lesser reputation
Sure,
just saying,
sure.
"Well, this kind of worked once."
I feel like there's a bar bet to be won in here at least. Yes.
I think so. I
Yes.
think there is.
Step out for a minute.
That's now attaching the pistons and barrels.
Go this way.
Now, Jack, are there any tips or tricks that you can share with us about this step of the process?
Yeah.
He laughs.
Pay attention. Me pay attention, right?
Right.
I just you got all the stuff going on in the background and everything, and you think you know what you're doing, but then I always praise, check, and recheck.
Yep.
And I stumbled upon a little problem that I just assumed I was doing it right, but again, I recheck and find out what I did, and so that's the thing. You just gotta know what you're doing.
Right. Right. Jack, we got a question from online. I'm going to butcher the name, but it's far from Lucen something. Looks like Farfanugan, but it's not. He's asking, what is the jug sealant that you're using?
It's 1211. It's an EMPI product.
Mm-hmm.
Well, EMPI carries it.
Yep, someone just jumped in. Sam from J-Bugs says, looks like more 1211.
Yeah. So it's it's just EMPI has it. That's still the place I can find it from.
Right. Looks like we have the first piston and jug attached. And then here goes the second one.
Pressure rating of this one then.
It's already been preset. It's 8-1.
8-1.
Yeah.
Outside. And again, from an outsider's point of view, just watching this being built, I think it's amazing that
Huh? Oh,
how
I knew it.
just,
I
like
turned it
there's
around.
nothing
God darn it.
dripping on the floor. There's
So what happens when you do everything under the
oozing
gun, you know?
anywhere. It's just an incredibly clean and sanitary build. I know when I do a recipe at home, there's stuff flying all over the kitchen and things are on the floor and stuff, but I think I'm going to have Jack come over and do some cooking for me because he's obviously a much cleaner person than I am.
So.
No.
Back over here.
And you want to
So.
Just another question. Someone asked if the ring gaps were good right out of the box.
Yes, from the factory for stock, they are.
They are.
Aftermarket rings, no, you have to check them.
Oh, okay.
And
Good to know.
stuff you didn't see behind the scenes, I had all this apart and I already pre-checked it.
Right.
So. Let me. This one. And
So that's another point.
this one.
So just want to take a moment to remind you that the EMPI long block build here at SEMA 2024 is brought to you by VW Trends Magazine. And you can subscribe to VW Trends by going to www.vwtrendsmagazine.com. You can pick up swag, subscriptions, single issues, back issues, all kinds of great stuff. So make sure you go over there today and subscribe. You'll be glad you did. And actually, I'll be glad you did too. All right, the second piston and cylinder are going in. That have the pistons installed. Jack's going to be moving on to the other side.
I gotta call my buddy CPR. What's up?
By the way, we want to thank Autolinea for the live stream sponsorship. They made it possible for you guys to watch this historic.
And VW Trends, thank you very much. And Wasp Performance too.
Well, there you have it. You heard it right here. So I'll thank myself. Thank you, VW Trends. No, this is great. We love this kind of stuff, and we love bringing it to the masses for everyone to see. Jack's getting ready with the push rods and push rods 2, getting those prepped and ready to go. For those of you keeping score, it is now 12:51 p.m. Las Vegas time. So we've really only been in this a couple of hours, and to see the amount of work Jack's done is pretty amazing. Just making sure everything's seated properly. One of the things I love that Jack said, how he will check, recheck, and then recheck the check that he just rechecked. I think that is a true sign of a master mechanic. Even though he's done this a million times, it's like you're never good enough to just throw it together and think you've got it. You always have to double check your work. Actually getting quite a bit of a crowd around booth 23427. People are watching Jack put things together. To the layman, you would think that putting together an engine is not that exciting, but apparently it is. If you are a Volkswagen person, Jack's now being joined by EMPI President Robert. Checking it out, seeing what's happening. All sorts of great stuff going on here. And again, if you have not stopped by the EMPI booth, you really should come by and check it out. All kinds of cars in here, people, all kinds of great things to see.
Yeah.
We have Volkswagens, we have buggies, we have Porsches, we've got everything in here. Really quite something to see. And if you've never been to the SEMA show, you really should try to get out here at least once, because it is a car lover's paradise. So make sure you check that out for sure. So Jack, tell me, do we have any tips or tricks to tell the folks watching as far as putting the heads on?
Yeah, I like to, after you got the piston cylinders on and you got the cool tin in, I like to put the head on halfway, just kind of get it up there and torque, lay it onto the studs. And then I install the push rod tubes, put a little seal on all of them. And then there's like the seam of the tubes. I always point those up.
Right.
In case there's a problem in manufacturing.
Oh.
It doesn't drip. And then I pop the head on, get it all lined up, put a little silicone inside the valve cover only.
Right.
And then inside underneath these washers. And now it's time to start torquing them, and then we'll go to the other side.
What do you normally torque them down to?
These are the 10 millimeter, or excuse me, these are the 8 millimeter studs.
Okay.
Which I'm a fan of for street cars. It lets it expand the way it's supposed to.
Okay.
And 18 to 20.
Okay.
Yeah, put a little bit of lubricant on the threads.
Right.
And then it works out good.
So now, what are the options as far as this? You said you prefer this.
Well, for a street car, they get hot.
Right.
The engine's got to expand, the Valvetrain, everything expands and gets wider. And these head studs the size is made to expand with everything. So it's kind of like a good combination. The 10 millimeter ones are for a little more higher compression. People are going to get on real hard. It's just a grocery getter, right?
Right.
It's, A to B. And so this is a perfectly good combination. I would prefer 8 millimeter studs for these engines. Other than that, it's just start putting it back together, and then I'll do a little snug on the heads, and then I'll come in there and I'll reseat the tubes, make sure they're centered on the little cups, and then
And then you're good to go.
yeah, and then flip it over to their side, and then when we're on the other side, and that head's on, then we start that Valvetrain side,
Gotcha.
and then when that side's done, valve cover will flip back over here, boom, 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 and it ends at number 1. We'll adjust that valve last, and then it's just plug it up.
So I know that we're doing this on a 1600, and there are other variables in the EMPI long block program, such as 1776, 1941. Like, what do you is this the across the board best?
Yeah,
practice?
luckily for me, Chico that over there runs the head department,
Yeah.
he knows what we need. And so he sets the bores, he does the CCs,
Oh,
and so they got a whole team over there that runs the head department. And then when I get it from the
Right.
shipping department, they just drop it off and it's all there.
it's
Everything.
already been checked
I don't
and
have to
everything's
machine.
good.
Yeah, I don't have to machine anything.
Nice, which is
So-
great for you because
Yeah.
that takes out that extra step.
Yep. So it's a good it benefits both of us. So they help me out, I help them out, and I get to work. Obviously at my shop at the home, and it's just good. It's good for all of us.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty awesome.
yep, let's work this baby
All
up.
right, let me get out of your way.
Okay. Where's my 15?
For all my viewers is asking you to sign the long block when you're done with it. So it'd be the Jack Sacchette Signature Edition.
Signature series.
Signature Series. There you go.
Yes.
I think it's a great idea. And a lot of people, now the interesting part, someone noticed, they said they didn't see you put the deflectors on, and they are indeed there. They are there, so I can confirm. No part left uninstalled. Again, not like IKEA where you end up with extra bolts.
It wouldn't be my first time.
No?
Yeah, I could rip it back apart and do it right.
Yeah.
So here's the pre-torque.
Now, is there a special method to your torquing? I know that, like, when you're putting on a wheel, right, you do the star pattern, go back and forth. Is that similar to when you install a head?
On heads, I do inside out. So it'll be crisscross, and then crisscross,
Right.
and then crisscross. Yeah,
Crisscross applesauce.
Yeah. It makes it all good. Thank you. Oh, Rick.
So not to distract you while you're putting it on, but I noticed the super cooler.
Yep.
Give me the 411 on this. I heard it's supposed to drop your oil temperature by.
Yeah, so they actually did some testing on it. It's it's fabricated up. You can see the welds, billet flanges, top and bottom.
It's a sturdy piece.
Yeah, and it looks solid. And it's not like you could buy a really nice brand new one, but now you can't.
Right.
You know, it's just one of those things that just everything needs to be touched up on, bring it up to date. And this is a new item. It works good for the guy that couldn't put the doghouse on his setup. This is just for the standard one.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's if it had the hold on the side for the, I'm sure they're planning on it. I'm not going to give anything away. But
Right. No spoilers. No spoilers.
Yeah, definitely. And the guy that I know that did the testing, and he's a straight shooter. It was 15 degrees, I believe he said.
Really?
Cooler, yeah.
15 degrees.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
we
yeah.
were talking about there are two things cooling your engine: oil and air.
Yeah,
And if you're getting both in this, like
Yeah.
if you could drop that down
Yeah.
15 degrees, that's a win. In my
yeah.
book.
It's not going on my race car, but that's definitely going on my street car.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's an
So,
awesome piece.
Yep.
And now you said this was for the standard,
Standard shroud.
not like the 36 horse,
Yeah.
but that may be coming in the future.
Well, that's like the 36 where it doesn't have a doghouse.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. His doghouse coolers are external.
Yes.
Yeah, those are internal. So
Wow. So you heard it here first. That's just yet another option when you're finishing off your long block. You can put one of those things on there and give you a little more peace of mind when you're driving.
it's not a bad investment for someone that drives their car and
Oh,
relies
no
on it
kidding.
daily. Yeah.
Well, and especially out here in the Las Vegas heat.
Yeah.
When I moved out here, we moved out here in, what was it, August, I think? And it was right in the middle of a heat wave, 115-degree temperatures for 2 weeks solid. I thought, what in the heck did I get myself into? But thankfully now it's come down a little bit, and it's actually really nice.
You got
outside.
beautiful weather right now.
Yeah, it's
I love it.
awesome. But I'll tell you what, man, in the middle of the summer out here, you are going to need as much cooling as you can get. So getting back to those deflectors, I know there are a lot of people that a lot of people say you need them, you don't need them, why put them on? And I look at it this way: if they put them on at the factory, they obviously had a reason.
Yes.
And it's like, why would you tempt fate by not having something that would help deflect the air across those cylinders? Because that's where all the heat is.
Yep. Yeah, they even make another upgraded one for like the Type 3s. It's the super cool.
Oh yeah, the super cool.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, I hear the torque wrench going off, making sure everything's done to spec.
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, bro. Good.
All right, looks like we have one side finished. So Jack is then lifting up the engine stand and turning it over to do the second side. So we are literally in the final stretch of getting this EMPI long block together. In record time, I might add, it is only 1:05, or is that 1:03 or 1:05? So we've been going for 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 44 seconds. I think that is an amazing feat. I don't know if you heard me, Jack, but you're almost done, and it's only been 2 hours, 12 minutes.
Yeah. Nice.
So you deserve a pizza or a sandwich or something.
Yeah, something's got to give, right?
Right? Exactly. There's got to be some perks in this
Sure,
deal.
if I go to the president of the company and say, hey, you know what? If I could just use that card for the numero uno or
Right, there you go.
or something.
Yeah, for the $45 12-inch pizza that they have here, I think that'd be great. Maybe you'll even kick in one of those $20 bottles of water.
Oh, there you go.
We had some people asking if that was an EMPI cooler. Yes, it is. This is the super cooler. Currently not for the 36 horse dog. Correct?
No, it's not. It's not for the dog. Yeah, it's not for the 36 doghouse.
Oh,
It's for the standard shroud.
just the standard
Yeah.
shroud. Okay, yes. So there you go. And that is available now. People know
Yeah.
that now.
Yep,
Very good.
available now. Okay, there we go.
There it is. Pistons in the hole. Get ready to put that in. Make sure everything is perfect. This is one of those measure twice, cut once things.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, getting the second one. For those of you fashionistas, I'm not sure where we can get Jack's apron at. Is this a barbecue apron or is this like a real mechanic's apron?
You know what? It was gifted to me by Mr. Molnar himself, and I would gladly sign it, and you guys can give it away to
There.
anybody online that you think feels fit.
Wow. Okay. So let's see. What would be a good question to give away the apron? You'll sign it, and we'll give it away online.
Yeah,
What would be,
talk
what would be a good question?
Talk to Rob about saying something about that. Or
Well, he might need that for his barbecue.
Oh,
I don't know. We
that's
better check
true.
with him
That
before
is
we do
true.
anything crazy like give away his apron. All sorts of cool things going on. Oh, Chip Foose just entered the building. Well, he's actually in the building. He just entered the booth. He's going to be signing some playing cards. So, I better check with Mr. Molnar. You find them card. Don't run. So, now we're about to this. It's so nice. Somebody said we should, at the end of this, we have Jack sign the apron and give it away. So I think we need to come up with an interesting contest, like some portion of this build, like some little tip or trick, if they can remember it. And the first person who does it should get the apron, unless this is your barbecue apron, and we don't want to take that away.
I'll say end play. What Jack said was the end play on this engine. You quote the end play. You tag EMPI _Inc. and you share with some friends, 2 friends that is, and VW Trends magazine, which is all lowercase altogether, and you could win Jack's apron.
There you go. This could be something for you to cherish and pass down to your children. Or you could sell it on eBay tomorrow. Who knows? It could go either way.
$20.
$20 on eBay.
Okay.
So we're waiting to get some people in with the correct one.
Hey, can you stand
Some
over here?
people are saying, actually, Sam, it's at VW Trends magazine. At VW Trends goes to a whole different thing. So yeah, so we're waiting for the answers to come pouring in. You have a chance to win Jack's apron. Okay, we've got a little bit of an argument going on. Some people are throwing numbers out, but we'll have Jack give us the actual answer when it's time, and then we'll go back and see who won the apron. Signed by Jack Sacchette. Maybe I could sign the apron too. I'll add my signature on there. There you go, Sam.
Hey,
Good job.
I should go and ask Chip to sign my apron.
Oh, you totally should. This could be like the
And then-
celebrity
yeah.
apron edition.
And then we'll give it away.
Jack just had a great idea. See if we can get Chip Foose to sign the apron as well. I think that would be awesome. So we will give the correct answer and who won when the engine is completed. So this could be something really exciting. You know, how many places have you seen that's given away an apron? I personally have never had a contest where I won an apron before. All right, Jack is putting the final touches, getting these last pistons and jugs on board. And it's going to be ready for the heads. We are so close to being done. If I was a betting man, which I am, I might just say we might do this engine in 2.5 hours. Okay, the cooling tin going on. For those of you who are wondering if he did put the cooling tin on, yes, the deflector tin is on. Oh, Sean McCarthy is asking, what kind of valve job are on those heads?
It is. Hi, Sean. He is my lifelong buddy.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, we got some stories, but
Uh-oh. Probably none we can actually tell online here.
that'd be a question for to ask Chica.
Oh, okay.
You know,
So there you go.
it's a
Sorry.
3-angle valve job, though. I know
It's
that.
a 3-angle valve job. There you go. But Chica would be the one to give you all the detailed information on that. All right. Jack is getting the last head ready to go on. A hush falls over the crowd.
Yeah, we're not going past there.
All right, getting the.
Hey, is Chip over there stealing my thunder or what?
Sorry?
Chip's over there stealing my thunder.
He is, yeah. Chip's stealing your thunder a little bit. But I think they're really just going through Chip to get to you. That's the way I'm looking.
Yeah, I'll wake up in a little bit.
Well, Chip isn't doing a live stream. That's all I can say.
That's that guy does awesome work.
Oh, he does. Chip's amazing.
Yeah, his shop was by my shop behind the beach.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, and I'd
So
run
you
into
guys
him.
are like neighbors.
Yeah, when I was behind the beach, I'd always run into him at the Italian joint.
Yeah.
Nicest dude, nice guy. Always
That is what
talking.
I have heard. I've never personally met the guy, but I'll definitely do that today
Yeah,
and say hi.
down to earth,
Just a guy, right?
Yep.
He just happens to have a high-profile job.
super cool guy.
Yep. And that's one of the things I've noticed about just this industry as a whole. Like, everyone is so approachable. I don't think I've ever run into anyone that's like, oh, I'm too important to talk to you.
Right.
Which is great. And I think that's what separates our industry from a lot of others. All right, so we're getting the push rod tubes in. Jack's making sure that the head seat's down nice. There it is. Look at that. We're in the home stretch.
I'm imagining Jack is icing a cake
It's kind of what
and
it
it's
looks
saying
like, right?
"Happy Birthday, Rob."
I think that's
Happy birthday,
exactly
Rob.
what it says.
Thank you. It's not my birthday, but I want you to bake me a cake and ice it, please.
It's pretty amazing. This seems like it was done in record time. Like we're almost at 2.5 hours,
Yep.
and he's almost done.
Well, think about back in the day, pulling an engine at OCIR. As I remember, that was about a 2 minutes. Yeah, about 2 or 3 minutes.
I think, was
Or the
record.
blow-up contests where they
Oh.
pull out the oil
I
and they
miss-
would.
I miss those.
We might have to do one of those. Who
I think
knows?
so I think the engine
So-
blow would be a fun one to
so,
do, as well as
yeah.
the engine blow would be great.
Excellent.
But yeah, it's pretty phenomenal to watch this from start to finish.
I do think a line of EMPI Christmas cards with Jack in like a Christmas apron. I feel like there could be a product line there.
Jack had
So-
a great idea. He said we should get Chip Foose to sign the apron as well to really
Oh,
just
wow.
up the value even more.
Well, that's just crazy. I like that idea a lot.
I do too.
So-
I do too.
So we have kind of an amazing universe right now. We got Jack building this long block that we're going to
Oh.
that an EMPI dealer is going to win.
I know.
We got Chip Foose signing
Less than
Las Vegas
40
playing
feet away.
cards. Yep, to celebrate our EMPI Foose collaboration.
very nice.
I've got to say this is a pretty good day to be in marketing at EMPI. I'm very happy. I'm very pleased. We got an awesome crowd. Everybody is being very kind and respectful, and they're all very excited to watch Jack build a long block and to see Chip. And obviously, announcing our collaboration with EMPI
Right.
is very exciting. We got a lot of cool new stuff coming, and the great thing about Chip is he just dreams things up, sketches it out, and then we turn it over to our engineering team, and they come up with cool products.
and they make it reality.
They do. God bless them.
Yeah. See, that's what this is what I love about our community. Like, there's really no security guards like trying to keep people in line. People are actually being very respectful.
They are.
They're being very orderly.
Yeah.
And it's just nice. I've been to some of the booths where they have celebrities, and it's like it's almost like trying to get in an exclusive club.
Oh, geez.
The
Okay.
velvet ropes. And
Ah.
when you get there, then it's like, no, move along, move along.
Sure.
So it's really nice.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, Jack's taking a little bit of a breather, wiping the sweat from his brow. You know, Jack, I think we need to get you someone like Elvis had that would come up and like wipe your brow with like a a towel or a. Oh, I'm sure that's his gig, and he's a multimillionaire just living off residuals.
No, but I thought it was a lady in a dance uniform that was on stage.
Oh, it could have very well been.
Yeah, that's the one I want for
You know, I'll see what I can do. I'll check with the powers that be at EMPI.
Yeah, no, I won't get the guy one because my wife won't like
Oh
that.
yeah, that probably would be fine, right? Okay, so here we go. We're tightening down. Again, like Jack said before, we're going inside out on the tightening, correct?
Yeah, just everything gets just snugged up, pre-snug, so we could seat the tubes,
Right.
and then we'll go to
Then we'll bust out the
torque wrench.
arc
Yep.
wrench.
Yep.
And then what's left after this?
We're gonna drop push rods, rockers, adjust the valves, hang the valve covers, plug it.
So we really are in the home stretch.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Should have that extension. Ashton, so how's it watching your dad build an engine?
Is it watching this engine?
It's not your first. It's not your first radio.
Radio. I'm watching build engines every week.
So for those of you who don't know, Ashlyn Sacchette is here, watching her dad build a motor. So what do you think? And you can be unbiased. I know it's your dad, but like, what do you think when you see the expertise at work here?
I see him very much so in his element
Mhm.
and very comfortable. Like literally, I don't know how he does it, but he knows it like the back of his hand, and just goes to work and he's just at ease doing it. I feel like it's like almost therapy for him.
Well, that's that's funny you say that because earlier when I was watching him build, I was like, he makes it look so easy and so effortless, but yet I know that there is a lot of stuff going on in his head while that's going on to make sure that everything is perfect because in a lot of ways, every engine that goes out of the doors when he's done kind of has his name and his fingerprints on it and his reputation's at stake.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, he loves
It's
doing
art.
this. It's fun to like go out to the garage and visit him at the house and
Mhm.
watch him putting all of these together. He has like a whole system going, and he really puts his heart into each one of them.
Yeah, and that's evident by the care that he takes. One of the things he said that I was so impressed with, he said, yeah, you have to check, recheck, check the check that you rechecked. And I love that because it really shows the care and attention to detail that goes into everything that he does. Because, I mean, he does have a reputation to uphold.
Yes, every engine he builds, my race engines, these engines, it's always check and recheck, and then check that check.
And then check it again, exactly. So we'll take a little break while he's getting the push rod tubes ready to go. What's coming up for you as far as racing goes?
We are racing tomorrow out here in Vegas at the NHRA Divisional.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so there's some qualifying today, but we're not going to make it there for that. But we'll be there tomorrow, and then we'll have eliminations Saturday and Sunday.
Mhm.
And then we'll be competing at the World Finals in Pomona next weekend.
Right.
And then our last event will be the big Quarry Mac race out here again in December.
Oh, yes, that's coming up on the 10th? 7th. I was
Yeah.
3 days off. If I showed up on the 10th, it would be over.
Yes,
But that's-
December 7th.
Okay.
We're very excited for that.
Yeah, that's going to be really good. I know a lot of people who are all excited and revved up for that. No pun intended, of course. But this is going to be great. So now, are there any new cars on the horizon for you? Anything you can kind of give us a little tidbit on?
I know he's building a car at home.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Do
having
tell.
fun with that. I don't know how much I can tell.
Well, he's busy building a love block.
Yeah,
What's he going to do?
I am getting married next year.
You are. Congratulations. That's exciting.
And, eventually I'll want to start a family. And so I don't know how many more events are in my future, but racing in general in our family will be continuing. So I think I might take a little break and, he might go back and have a little fun for himself.
Right. Now, here's my question. So what are the chances, like when you get your family started, what are the chances of a third generation racer?
Very high.
Very, very high. Exactly.
I always wanted to race juniors when I was younger. It just wasn't in the cards for me because he was very busy at that time when I was little.
Right.
But we've always talked about it. I'm like, okay, 5 years old, they can get in. Like, that's what I definitely want to do. I never want to leave the drag racing scene as a whole. I don't know, since juniors dragsters aren't VWs, but hopefully we can stay in that realm of things. That's where our passion is. But definitely drag racing will always be there.
Awesome. Well, that's exciting to know that that legacy isn't just going to die out with you, that you're going to be passing that down generationally. And I think that's awesome.
Absolutely.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
Now, while we were chatting, we obviously missed him putting the rocker arms on.
Saw it.
You saw it. Yeah, I was busy talking, of course. So now, Jack, tell us a little bit about the rocker arms that you're putting on here.
Yeah. Factory stock 1-to-1s,
Okay.
heavy duty shafts, stock adjusters, everything brand new in the engine, everything.
Yeah.
So makes assembly really nice.
Yes. Here, let me get out of your way. So one of the things I love, Jack, is how everything just looks new. You know what I mean? I like that look.
Yeah.
It's not like it's all covered in grease or oil that somebody cleaned up in their parts washer at home before throwing it back in. It's like everything you get is brand new.
Oh shoot! See, doing my interview and missed something.
Ah, see, I was distracting you. This was like a survivor challenge.
No.
I'm not going to vote you off the island.
No, don't.
So now, what spec do you tighten the rocker arms down to?
Here, you ready?
Yep.
Click, click.
That's it?
No.
Come on.
I told you there's only one thing on this engine I don't torque. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Everything's preset. Whoa.
And there it is.
Beep. Beep. So yep. Announce the product. Be on the trail soon. Stay tuned.
And again, once everything's on, you go back and turn the crank to make sure everything's moving the way it should.
Yep.
Take no chances. I think that's the lesson here, folks. Especially when you're building something as important as the part of your VW.
I know.
Make sure it's done right the first
What
time.
was that?
And speaking of doing it right the first time, you would do right by yourself to subscribe to VW Trends Magazine. Did you like that segue? That was a pretty good segue.
I'm impressed.
I liked it. I feel pretty good about it. But you can subscribe to VW Trends Magazine by going online to www.vwtrendsmagazine.com. Subscriptions, stickers, t-shirts, hats, banners, everything. We've got it all. And make sure you reach out and say hi. We've got you covered.
What's with the highlights?
Oh, here we go. Now we're, if I am correct, we're adjusting the lifters, correct?
Just the valves.
Just the valves.
Which lifters are part of that?
Yes. So I wasn't too far off.
No.
And what is the preferred measurement here?
So I'll tell you. again, everybody skins the cat a different way.
Right.
Since it's a brand new engine, I throw 2 on there. Just a little bit of wiggle. You need to double check it.
Yep.
2 thou filler gauge. And then after they get it, I believe it is in the instruction sheet when you purchase it. After a certain amount of miles, you got to adjust the valves and everything.
Sure.
And I'm a guy that likes to have pretty close to 0.
Right.
But after everything's broken in, you got to get things a clearance to settle down, break in.
Now, a break-in period. Let's talk about that for a second. So, give me just the thumbnail sketch of, like, from your perspective and your standpoint and your years of expertise, what is the preferred break-in period?
To me, if it goes 100 miles or something,
Yeah.
If something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong
In the first 100 miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I like to see the valves adjusted after 100 or 200 miles,
Mhm.
oil changed, minimum after 500 miles,
Okay.
change the oil.
So, a 100-mile break-in period is what you would consider standard in good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good information. Here we go, adding some more lubricant in there to make sure everything slides nice and smooth. Oh, here we go. He's bringing over some valve covers and gaskets. Getting ready to button up one side. So when you're putting on the valve covers, I noticed you just put the gasket on and no extra sealant required.
Oh, I put sealant on the bottom
Oh,
side.
you already put sealant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
bottom side, so the gasket always stays with the valve cover.
Right.
And then just dry on the front side, the head side.
See, I wasn't looking close enough. You snuck one in on me. So here we go with side 2. So we have been at this now for 2 hours and 37 minutes, coming on 2 hours and 38 minutes, putting together an entire 1600 cc long block from start to finish.
We would just
And once again, going in, turning the crank to make sure everything is working perfect. Going and grabbing the rocker arm.
Excellent.
All right, so I'd say that looks like an engine.
Yeah, it is. Just buttoning up this side. I believe he's gonna adjust the valves and get everything in, and it's gonna be ready to rock and roll.
I like it.
Lucky EMPI distributor.
A lucky EMPI distributor is going to win this 1600 cc all new, all EMPI long block, handcrafted at SEMA 2024. I would like Jack to sign the case somewhere. I'm not sure where we can get his signature on there.
We can find a spot.
Yep.
I'm sure there's a spot on there
Yep.
somewhere where we can get a Sharpie.
I will notate, we do serial number every long block. So this will come home to Anaheim so we can serialize it. We have a beautiful long block crate that we ship these in.
I've seen those crates, and they actually are very beautiful. In fact, I have actually seen people take the side off and put it on the wall because they like it so much.
There you go. That's good to know. We will make a big stink on Instagram when we send the engine out and when we announce the EMPI dealer that has won it.
Nice.
But I'm not sure that's going to fit in my luggage, so I've got to figure out a way to get it back to
Yeah, I was
Anaheim.
going to say that's. I don't think that's going to fit in the overhead compartment.
I brought my big rolling bag, but I'm not sure if that's going to go.
It's not big enough.
Yeah, I have to figure that out.
I'm sure getting it through TSA would be a bit of a challenge.
Well, there's no oil in it, so you would think it wouldn't be that much of a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, run out of parts.
Well, someone suggested we find someone at the show that's an engraver and have his name engraved in the.
Well, that's not a bad idea at all.
That could happen. Or we could go old school with a screwdriver and a hammer.
Oh boy,
and chisel it.
That sounds dangerous. I'm not going to advocate for that.
No, I don't think. I think that voids your warranty if you do that.
Oh, good God.
Jack's going through, making sure everything is perfect. That goes back to that whole thing of check, recheck, and recheck whatever it was you were checking. So there we go. Look at that.
Almost there, Dan.
Making sure that the valves are all adjusted for putting the final valve cover on. And then it's really just a matter of putting in those hole plugs to make sure nothing foreign gets in there that could damage the motor. Wesley Restoration says, thanks for doing this live broadcast. Enjoyed watching. Well, you're welcome. VW Trends is glad to be a proud sponsor of this event because we think it's important. We think this type of stuff is important for the community at large. Not only is it enjoyable, but, much like an educational TV show, you might just learn something from watching this that maybe you didn't know.
Well, that's probably no.
Right, Jack adding a little bit of sealant around the inside edge of the valve cover. And again, hot ticket, you put the wet side inside and then do the dry side against the head.
There's the head. That way, when you always take your valve cover off to adjust the valves, it just stays with it.
Oh, very good. So you don't have to put a new one on.
Right.
Smart.
Getting a leak.
There it is. We are in the last stages of getting this thing taken care of. Now, of course, ensuring that this gets to you completely protected and unscathed. They put in a bunch of plugs to make sure no foreign objects get inside the motor when you get it.
Sorry about the mess.
So it looks like the long block is done, and now we're just in the final, making sure everything's covered. Now, what are you doing there, Jack?
Small distributor drive shins.
Oh,
With something non-magnetic. Stainless steel. I mean, this is actually my tool.
oh, very good.
Your tool for the job is always the right tool.
Absolutely.
So it's like,
Rich Crafton from VW Trends Magazine posted our link in the chat. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click on that, and that'll take you right to the website, and you can subscribe to VW Trends Magazine. Thank you, Rich. Rich is our business development and publisher of VW Trends Magazine. This is pretty amazing, Rob. It's just over 2.5 hours from start to finish.
Yep.
I mean, this really is, I think, at least history in the making. Like, nobody's done it. I've never seen it. And I'm sure the people watching on the internet have never seen a motor put together from start to finish in this type of form.
I wish I had more data. I firmly believe that Jack's prep work and all of the tools being organized and all the parts being ready probably help expedite the
Oh,
process.
yeah, absolutely.
Ultimately, when Jack is building at his shop, he's got everything laid out in a very clean, nearly surgical room like precision. So I know he has become very efficient at building long blocks.
Right.
And I know he enjoys building long blocks. So I think that's one of the things that makes the job that much maybe quicker and easier,
Yes.
is that he knows the pattern, he's got a process, and he doesn't deviate from it, except when he comes to Las Vegas and builds it in front of a few thousand
Right,
people
exactly.
in person, and then the whole internet. So there's that.
Well, you know, I can only imagine that the in the back of his mind somewhere, there's got to be a little bit of like stress and anxiety over the fact that you're being watched by millions of people worldwide. Not that I'm putting any pressure on you, Jack.
it doesn't phase me.
I think he's just imagining everybody in like a showgirl outfit with the big feathers and the the bedazzling. So
You know, I'm never going to get that visual out of my head. So thanks for that. I'm going to have to see my therapist
I'm here
when
to
I get
help.
back home.
I'm here to help.
Although I'd look good.
Well,
in
this
one
is your
of those.
home. What are you
That's the
talking
thing.
about?
That is my home. What am I talking about? I'd look good in one of those head things, with the flowers and feathers.
Why not try?
Hey, you never know.
There's got to be a showgirl, upcycling place you can pick up a nice outfit.
Yes.
So look at that. That's looking like an engine. That's one of the things with the caps, the way that Jack is blocking off all of the different cavities that could get debris. I know you touched on it a little bit earlier, but this is just standard practice for an EMPI long block. You can see them all capped and covered. And when they ship, after they've been serialized and crated, they're ready to go. We recommend that you build yours out sooner than later.
Right.
But because there's no oil in it, nothing's going to leak.
Right.
So it's really just a question of finding the time to schedule your build out, hang those carburetors, get your shroud, get your alternator stand, figure out what you're going to do, colors, exhaust, etc.
And don't forget your super cooler.
Well,
we
you need
talked
your
about
super
this.
cooler.
We
That's
talked
right.
about this earlier.
Yep.
But this is no pun intended, but this is really cool.
Yeah. So what we've got here, this is for the for an early car. For that offset, we'll have a cooler shortly, but we collaborated with CSF, who are the leaders in cooling. They do radiators, they do intercoolers, they do all sorts of aftermarket. So they're local. We started chatting with them about putting together a super cooler.
Right.
It's a modern cooler, not the old style tube fin. So what we've got here is a cooler that our engineering team collaborated with them on, and it is guaranteed to deliver a 10-degree temperature drop in your engine oil.
Wow.
Between 2,000 and 5,000 RPM. Think about where your average street car drives.
Right.
It's in that range.
Right.
So as you build out a long block, I would strongly encourage you to think about an EMPI CSF supercooler as you build out, because why not? For a little bit extra money, the insurance alone is well worth it.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things that, like Jack was saying earlier, there's only two things that are cooling the engine. It's got your oil and air.
And it's mostly oil.
Exactly.
That's what's conducting all the heat away.
This will help keep it cold and make things run longer.
Yep. And we'll also be rolling out a super shroud, which we've shown on the floor here. that will work with doghouse and non-doghouse setups.
Very good.
And that will also conduct the air. The velocity of the air will be increased.
Right.
The pattern that the air travels in will actually cool bank 1 and 2 and bank 3 and 4 equally.
Right.
Rather than typically bank 1 and 2 get most of the cooling, and cylinder 3 is almost always where bad things happen because of the differential in the temperature.
Right.
So the super cooler that'll be coming early next year, that will remedy that problem. It'll fit better than any shroud we have currently. So it's going to be a win-win.
Wow, very cool.
It's like
And again, just to touch on what you said, it's cheap insurance, right? Why wouldn't you?
Sure.
Do whatever you could to make the engine run as cool as possible.
Yes.
It's like, it seems to be a no-brainer.
So I would say so. Again, there is a small cost differential that we expect, but ultimately what you're getting is modern cooling technology on your old school Volkswagen engine.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Sam. We'll let you know when the doghouse cooler makes it out. It'll be very soon.
Okay.
Yep, the word is coming in on the internet. One person said it is a beauty.
Oh, thank you.
You're not wrong. It's actually a sight to behold.
So
That's it, man.
Even in its stock form, this thing is about as flashy as a Las Vegas neon sign.
Yep. It's a good looking piece, Jack. Nice work.
Thank you.
Good job, Jack.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are done.
The
Look at that.
engine is done, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Jack Sacchette. The engine is complete.
Jack, nice work.
A little over 2.5 hours.
Very nice. Well done, Jack.
Good deal. Nice builds.
Well, this has been something. Rob, thank you for letting VW Trends be a part of this. This has been epic.
Thanks for being our presenting sponsor, Dan.
Oh, of course.
Much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Good times.
Wouldn't have missed it for the
Who would have known at SEMA somebody be building a long block on the floor and their name would be Jack Sacchette,
right.
the king of Volkswagen racing, proven performer.
Where's your marking pin?
Oh, good.
Oh, he's got something. Yeah,
let
we
me
need
go
to get
find
a
it.
Sharpie somewhere.
One moment.
All right, it's not done until there's a signature on it. So we're gonna. Oh, someone's got one right there. Here he goes.
Thanks, buddy. I'm
I'm just
trying.
interested where he's going to sign it.
All right.
Where are you going to sign it, Jack?
Get your name and SEMA 2024 on it.
There you go.
All right.
All right, here we go. And there it is. That is the cherry on top of the sundae right there. Yay!
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Here. Thanks so much. Really
And remember, one last time, if you haven't already
Yeah,
subscribed to
okay,
VW
thanks,
Trends,
guys.
go to www.vwtrendsmagazine.com.
Thanks. 2.5 hours of stressful life, you know.
You want to go lunch with us?
Hey everybody, it's Dan Ledbetter from VW Trends Magazine, and I'm inviting you to subscribe to the #1 enthusiast publication For $29.95, you get 4 issued delivered to your house every single year. We have events, we have features, we have tech, we have everything a VW enthusiast could want. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party today at www.vwtrendsmagazine.com. Hey everybody, it's Dan Ledbetter from VW Trends Magazine, and I'm inviting you to subscribe to the #1 enthusiast publication. For $29.95, you get 4 issued delivered to your house every single year. We have events, we have features, we have tech, we have everything a VW enthusiast could want. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party today at www.vwtrendsmagazine.com.
If, like many people, you believe that passion ends, perhaps you've never really fallen in love. Our passion has no timeline, no expiration date. It has intensity, dedication, and loyalty. Because when we're together, every turn, on a family outing, or along competitive straights, the roar of your engine sets your emotions soaring and quickens your pulse. And that's why we've designed the heart of your air-cooled engine with excellence to give you the best experience. And for us to continue like this, experiencing incredible moments together, care is required. And that ranges from the strict control of a raw material to the perfect finish and integrity of the material. We are an authority in the production of cases and cylinder heads for air-cooled engines, a genuinely Brazilian company with a history that spans more than 40 years of quality, performance, safety, and tradition in over 40 countries on every continent. Every part is manufactured using high-precision equipment and the best tools available on the market. We are committed to your safety and uphold quality assurance as a duty. We developed the different versions to meet all your needs and standards. Everything is essentially thought out, designed, and executed so that our passion never slows down. Autolinea Performance. We drive every mile together, creating memories and sharing stories.
Hey everybody, it's Dan Ledbetter from VW Trends Magazine, and I'm inviting you to subscribe to the #1 enthusiast publication. For $29.95, you get 4 issued delivered to your house every single year.